Yeah, so Kunkka being the first pickup with a Lich. So, I mean, a lot of AoE, of course, but that's a very interesting pick. I mean, Kunkka's not really that counterable, because it's like Doom, let's say, gets picked up, and he can counter, you know, most heroes, but Kunkka usually is in the back anyway, so once again, comes down to versatile first picks, and I gotta catch up with this draft, so we'll go quickly, but yeah, Shadow Shaman, Doom being the response coming out, just strong heroes, once again, can't be countered, very versatile, just strong push coming out from Shadow Shaman, what a good hero. Lycan was banned out, of course. DP made it through the first phase, but not the second phase, and she wasn't worthy enough to get picked up right away. And the response, Lich, Sand King, so even more AoE coming out of Team Radiant. And the Faceless Void coming out from the Dire team. Dire team can, yeah, it's always come down to that Chronosphere. You know, you might have good team fight, but can you escape the Chronosphere? And Spectre being picked up, as well as Rubik. Now Spectre is an interesting pick, and by interesting I mean probably a really good pick, because Faceless Void, yeah, he can Chronosphere, but as long as Spectre just kind of does what she normally does, which is farm in another place and then haunt in, the Chronosphere is never going to be on the Spectre, unless Faceless Void has to wait to use that Chronosphere. So I think that's a good carry pick, because I mean, Wraith King is like another version of what Spectre would be, and Wraith King's more flavor of the month. You know, Spectre did get picked a couple times, so you know, it's not like it's super rare, but yeah, just an interesting choice, and even more kind of AoE damage coming out from the dispersion. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well this Spectre gets played, because unlike other carries, and especially unlike Faceless Void, I only get to cast a couple of games today. I'm actually talking over myself because I did stream up, so I'm going to turn that down. There we go. All right, so I know my stream works because I had it playing in the background. All right, there we go. Going back to the cast. Spectre, what was that? Oh yeah, that's right. Unlike other carries, and especially like Faceless Void can make something happen in the early game, but Spectre totally depends on everyone else on her team to set up the kills for her. And you saw, I think in TI4 it was Vici, it was either Vici or Newbie used Spectre in an offlane with the Lich, and now I'm noticing that there is this combo Spectre Lich coming out from the Radiant, and they basically set up tons of kills for Spectre where all she had to do was haunt in and grab that kill, increasing her farm, and they just like made it so that Spectre was just getting those kills, and it was a really wondrous display of just making kills happen across the board and making space for the Spectre in the best way possible, getting her the farm while doing it. And Rubik being the response pick with a lot to steal. So a good pick there. Another version of that would have been Silencer. I would also agree that Silencer would be crazy good against, I mean, you think about Sand King channeling that Epicenter, or Kunkka trying to get his combo off, or, you know, any one of those teamfight ults that comes out, if you silence just before or even after that, the rest of those subsequent ults are going to want to come out, but they're not going to be able to because of the global silence. I am a big fan of Silencer, just like Too Good is, from Too Good Studios. He's one of my favorite heroes, definitely. But yeah, Dragonite being the last pick from Team _, which actually I saw on the Reddit, so must have. I think I actually don't have a huge like history with this Reddit, so I'll be real honest about that. But I want to make a history, so I'm gonna be here casting because it's fun. But yeah, so excuse my lack of previous knowledge, but I know that I did see that icon, the www, on the very front page of the subreddit for Reddit Dota 2 League. So I'm guessing that they won the last season. That's my guess. But yeah, Bristleback being the last pick coming out from the Radiant team. And I like this because, you know, extra tank, an extra front line to protect those teamfight heroes. And now Radiant's looking really scary. And once again, like it always comes down to, Faceless Void's Chronosphere is the key for the team that wields it. And I know that sounds like a blanket statement, but in my opinion, like most teams that pick a Faceless Void don't pick anything else for insurance. It's almost like, you know, I mean, of course you have the wards for Shadow Shaman, but you usually want to push like towers with those, and you have the Doom like nullifying at least one person in the team fight, but that's it. You have some single target stuff, and that's really all you have. And so we're going to go over who's playing who here. Rich Kid playing the Faceless Void, Joho on the DK, Ride Hunter on the Rubik, Kir playing the Shadow Shaman, and Doom in the probably solo offlane Doom being played by anti-ponies. Radiant team still in their base and going over now. They play their players. Exalted One playing the Spectre. I think I've seen him play Spectre once before. He must be a big fan. Austin freaking Powers on the Bristleback. British. Austin Powers was British, and so is Bristleback. Or maybe not British, but European of some kind. I can't be too sure. Irish. Chocobo, the one that I know, definitely playing the Sand King. Game playing the Lich. And Scepter playing the Kunkka. It'd be really cool if the Scepter was playing the Spectre, but no such luck. Yeah, so looking at the lanes, solo offlane Doom and a mid DK, pretty straightforward. Roaming supports. They both set up. Rubik and Shadow Shaman are good at setting up, but they don't have really that much damage amongst them. So I guess that is true, and we'll see if they can make something happen with that, because the lanes that they'll be ganking for don't really have a lot of potential either. If they gank, like, let's say DK's lane in the mid, that's a lot of stuns. It basically have 4 stuns between those 3. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot of stuns. So I think that's enough to actually get the kill on a squishy target. But let's remember about who's laning here. I mean, there's a Bristleback in the off lane, a Kunkka in the safe lane, and wow, yeah, like the Lich Spectre lane, we've seen it before, but now it's in the mid lane rather than the off lane. So we'll see how this goes. This might actually be good against DK. A lot of people I've talked to have become fans of this dual lane, but wow, just a straight up telekinesis lift coming out from the roaming Rubik. Maybe he could make something happen, or maybe he just a little bit of miscommunication, because that's not a lane that you can kill right now. Scepter, wow, now they've got me tricked up with the name from Kunkka being Scepter. Spectre is pretty tanky if she gets, I actually don't, she hasn't skilled her first point right now, but yeah, Dispersion is going to make her just that much more tanky. But yeah, so let's see, the Faceless Void against the Bristleback here in the top lane. It's going to go pretty good for the Bristleback, I'd say. Not too one-sided in either way though. And the Lich is going to be able to control the runes, and we've even got Sand King helping out in that regard. In fact, he is smoked and maybe trying to make something happen here on the DK. This will be really hard to do unless they definitely need the Lich, and unfortunately the Lich is going top. He gets lifted. Does he get thrown in a bad position? He kind of does, but he's going to run the opposite way, which is pretty smart, making sure that mid isn't roaming there, but he isn't. So for the moment, Dire isn't going to be able to capitalize on that telekinesis. But here comes Sand King. The dust is completely wore off. But now Lich and Sand King are going to be able to group up and be able to do something. And I miss First Blood in the, I guess the top lane? I'm a little confused. I guess he just, the Quills. I just didn't expect that something to happen with just 1v1. But yeah, it totally happened. Now they're manning up on this Faceless Void who has to time walk away into the trees. Take HY's advice and stay in the trees, because this Bristleback has his number. The Quills, they never miss. Tinker's line, ooh, they never miss. But interesting. It's a little interesting that kill happened. I'm going to get the last hits. I always forget to actually bring up the last hits. It's like my primary mistake right now. And the Radiant's going to contest the pulls, and Radiant's doing really good right now. I mean, obviously First Blood, but the Dire doesn't have a strong lane right here. Rubik isn't very good at protecting someone. I mean, Faceless Void, who has a time walk, yeah, the telekinesis is really only there just to make it so that if there's any chain stuns coming out on the Faceless Void, that he's able to get the time enough with the telekinesis buying time in order for him to time walk away. So yeah, it's not too bad. As long as he can time walk away, that's one thing, but any chain stuns are going to be bad. But actually, I thought that, yeah, I forgot that it's Rubik and Shadow Shaman on the Dire side. That's where the chain stuns are really coming out. And on the Radiant side, they really don't have much in terms of chain stuns. So I actually take that back slightly. They're pinging out DK, doing a little bit of damage. But Kunkka solos the Doom with really low health. Oh man, without 2 people, it's really tough to watch the whole map, especially when, you know, usually it's the tri lane versus the dual lane, or the tri versus tri that's going to have most action. But props to Doom to actually doing something. But actually, back on top lane, there was a lift onto the Bristleback. Now he's going onto this. He's got like a lot of stack. He's got his Bristleback a little bit, and he was doing work. Almost got the Shadow Shaman. He was really close. I can't fault that Bristleback for trying that, because that's the thing that, you know, Undying or Bristleback can kind of do. They can turn those 3v1 situations, just baiting out the confidence and making something happen. But didn't work out, unfortunately. And that's 3-1. The Kunkka getting kill in the bot lane, plus the First Blood, and plus the kill that came top
Radiant's
as well. So the 2 kills top.
under attack.
So let's see who's farming the best. DK is doing obviously really good. He's just a solid mid unless you've got really good gank potential. And right now, Radiant doesn't. If there's any gank potential, it's going to come out from the Dire side. And Doom's Scorched Earth is actually burning the Sand King just a little bit. And Sand King doesn't have mana. Maybe he can make something happen, but he's not. Ooh, this is really tough. If he had a little bit more time on that Scorched Earth, that would have been a kill. But now Lich is wrapping around, but yeah, Doom's just too fast. He has Phase Boots. He didn't opt for the Tranquils, but I agree with this. Phase Boots is just going to give you that burst speed and make it so that you can't have your speed like nullified just by a right click. And although, I mean, it's not like he doesn't have sustain. He's got the Scorched Earth, although he didn't rank it into rank 3, which, you know, it depends on the situation, but he's not going to have like that crazy regen that comes from rank 3, and he doesn't have the Tranquil. So we'll see. They should be able to zone him out as far as Radiant goes, but they're too greedy and they're kind of doing their own thing. So they're not focused on zoning out this Doom, which is, you know, one thing that can totally happen when you have a defensive tri-lane. It's always the decision between, do you, I'm going to stop right because the telekinesis is really ballsy. This Rubik is almost in tower range, but once again, so there's no follow-up on his lifts. I'm not sure if there's just a, you know, a little bit of, he's trying to make something happen, but it's not there. And there's the Scorched Earth giving him HP, but like I was saying, the supports in a defensive tri-lane are always torn between two things: zoning the offlane from the opposite team, or ganking, or stacking and pulling for themselves. So it's kind of three things. They haven't made anything happen mid. They could honestly do it. I think that they could make it happen mid with between the slow and the now something sounds top. I was thinking like halfway through my sentence, but there's nothing that's going to happen top here right now. Bristleback's just too tanky, and it's just, this Bristleback's obviously doing really well. He got a kill in the Shadow Shaman, and then once again, that's totally what he can do. They left him, like, they had some help. Radiant did rotate up here just a little bit, but Bristleback is just by himself. He's gotten the levels, and now he's really strong. He does have his Warpath now. Now it was where his right clicks are going to become really strong. So I'm actually going to stay up here because it looks like nothing's happening in the other lanes at the moment. And I guarantee that, especially when that Shadow Shaman comes back, he is walking. We'll see something happen. I mean, he could honestly do stuff right now. If he just had a little bit more mana, that's the only thing keeping him back right now. If he could spam Nasal Goo, he could be really good. But actually, look at this. There's a Chronosphere, but it's definitely not going to be enough. There was the Fate Bolt, but there's actually no lift. If there was a lift, they might have got the kill, but there's no way with just the two of them that they're going to kill that Bristleback who's gotten a couple of those kills. If Shadow Shaman was there, the level 1 Ether Shock doing 140 damage would have definitely taken down that Bristleback. So yeah, like I was saying, the supports from the Radiant side could definitely gank the DK if they were coordinated enough, but as you can tell, the Sand King's just being greedy. He wants to get that Blink Dagger up, and he's doing pretty good to get that farm. I mean, he's got his boots and 1,000 gold to his name, so he'll have maybe a 9-minute, 10-minute Blink Dagger. It's pretty good. It's not the fastest I've ever heard of, but he's still making it happen, and that's despite the fact that the Lich pretty much hasn't been stacking. I'd say that the Lich has been trying to run top, maybe help the Bristleback a little bit, but also stay mid to make sure that this Spectre gets it to the late game. That's what they're really banking on, which I think is, while smart, well, I'm going to interrupt myself because there's the Hex plus the Shackle. There is no Chronosphere, but there's the Time Walk. Is there going to be a Fable? He chooses to Telekinesis instead, which, yeah, that might have been a mistake because, actually, I mean, either way, the Bristleback is just way too tanky. He has 19 HP. 19 HP. That medallion actually gave him the armor that he needed to live there, guaranteed. So his item, the gold that he's gotten in this lane has paid off in spades right there. DK pushing the mid lane while Lich rotates to the top, and while I talk, Sand King actually gets a kill on Doom, so he did make something happen in the bot lane, and even without Epicenter, he's really close to level 6 now, but good gank coming out from the bot lane. They've definitely shut down this Doom, and certainly more than they have the Bristleback from their team has gotten shut down. And while I talk about that as well, Spectre haunts into the top lane and gets a kill on Rubik. This is my first cast of the game, guys. I apologize that I'm missing a couple of these kills. It certainly is a thing that can happen, but I'm not going to miss this kill. DK is really tanky, but those Quill stacks are really high, and wow, the Breathfire almost kills the Sand King, but the Quills finishes off the DK. Now there's a Doom. Doom is chasing his Doom target, but he's just a little bit lower, and the Spectre is doing that Desolate damage, and it's doing so much, plus the Sandstorm damage is actually still ticking, but now the Phase Boots come out from Doom. Is he going to chase? The Spectre doesn't have mana for this Spectral Dagger right now, and that's it. it. The regen and the movement speed too strong. Doom is just such a good hero in that regard. So many times he avoids being ganked because of the Scorched Earth, and that's without the levels coming out from the fact that he has died in the offlane multiple times. Chronosphere is up, and he is going to use it on the Lich, and the telekinesis even comes after that. There's a bash, extra damage. Is it going to go the way of the Faceless Void? And finally, yes, he actually runs up with the Lich not fast enough. Kunkka was trying to reinforce just a little bit, but he's going to stay AFK farming in this bot lane, and he's going to get a good amount of gold. Phase and Bracer to his name, and quite a bit of gold as mid tower goes down for the Radiant. DK pushing it. It didn't even need his dragon form for that. Sand King is just doing his can to sandstorm this double stack before he goes back to the base, because he is definitely lower HP and mana and definitely can't help among the map right now. So this is going to be a while before Radiant's going to want to get active. If Dire goes active with a Doom or a Chronosphere, they can definitely make something happen, because this Sand King is... So I'd say that he definitely wants to get his Blink Dagger, and actually this is really good. I didn't actually count his gold, but he got his Blink Dagger right now, and that is, I was gonna say, like, he might have to go back to farming after this because he's gonna be close, but he actually got that Blink Dagger right now. So like I said, 9-10 minute Blink Dagger, and that's a pretty good time. And now Dire team, WWW, has to be really afraid of that thing that they don't even know about. So there's going to be the reveal epicenter coming out, and that could be really bad from Dire's team. Of course, it could be really bad. It's hardcore. But now there's the chase on Shadow Shaman. He's definitely going to die because there's the X and the Desolate one-shotting him, doing so much damage right now, with the fact that the Lich plus Spectre combo has given this Spectre a lot of levels and uncontested levels down in the mid lane. So now this Spectre's right clicks are actually doing surprisingly well, as long as Dire's team aren't grouped up. That definitely is going to enhance Radiant's ability to get picks that they shouldn't get. So, and we've seen that a couple times now. The Radiant team has gotten some single target picks, and by some I mean quite a bit. So just the map awareness and the rotations have really gotten Radiant in a good position in the late game. And I would normally say that Dire has, like I think I was starting to say this before, is that Dire has a really good late game setup. I mean, they have the Chronosphere coming out from the Faceless Void, they have DK in general, they can push towers, they do have the Shadow Shaman, but now Bristleback's diving. There's the Frostbite right onto the Shadow Shaman, but he's shackling him. The Bristleback in tower range with the Ether Shock to finish, but there's the Spectre. He gets lifted before the epicenter comes in and destroys the remaining people. The Radiant team, there's the Blink Dagger reveal, and 2 just instantly annihilates the Shadow Shaman and the Rubik. And while the bottom lane is being pushed at the same time, Faceless Void is actually able to get a kill on the Lich as well, right here in the top lane. So trading back and forth, 2 for 2 there. But there was 2 of Dire's heroes completely attributed to getting that bottom lane. So it definitely goes the way of the Dire, I'd say, because honestly that's also without... Oh, okay, he did spend the Chronosphere for that, but Doom is up now. And but wow, now the Faceless Void's getting gone on by the Spectre and the Sand King combo. There's no more mana for this Sand King. He can blink, but he won't be able to Burrow Strike. But now there's the Rubik to help. There's the lift. Oh wow, it was really close. The Desolate damage, actually, the Dispersion actually doing work there. But now, oh my god, is he gonna try to blink on this? Is there the backtracks? Wow, there was the backtracks. That was a level 3 Sandstorm. That might have actually killed him. He has 30 HP, but now Chikobo's way too low, and he's way past enemy lines. Save Private Chikobo is the movie title for this match at this current moment. 12 minutes into this game, which is game 1 of the ones that I've casted today of the RD2L. Yeah, it's really good. Lots of action, but the Dire's showing some signs of life. Is the Doom going to get close enough to Doom? This is Spectre's trying to farm this creep, but now he's actually able to go over the ledge. The Doom not disabling this Spectre's ability to go over the ledge, and that's actually going to be a total. He's going to completely live. And while that happened, Bristleback got a kill even further down this lane. It was on this Rubik who was positioned right at his tower. Bristleback, once again, he's going to die of those towers. Like, that's one of those drafting paradigms that people don't think about sometimes, and it's really part of this meta, but specifically tower diving. If you have the capability to do that, it's just so strong right now. Tower push and tower dive are among the things. I mean, tower push is one thing people definitely think about, but I think tower dive sometimes gets overlooked. So sometimes like an Omni Knight or an Abaddon or a Treant Protector become useful in those regards. And tower diving is actually more of an old-ish meta. Going towards about a year old, because we used to see a lot of like Weaver, Treant Protector. Abaddon came into the scene just a little bit. He came out strong, as a couple people were picking him just for that regard as well, the ability to dive. But yeah, So 12-6 here. The Dire did pretty well to get some kills. Unfortunately for the Dire, the Spectre got away after that Doom was used. And that's because the Spectre is really tanky. But there's a boat onto 2 actually in there, because the Chronosphere is there to come back. There's the Epicenter, but it actually doesn't hit anyone. A few of the ticks of the Epicenter getting on the Faceless Void, but a nice Burrow Strike on 2 inside tower range. And the Bristleback's Quills going to work. And the Rum, look at the Rum. This is a dead Bristleback if it wasn't for this Rum. But yeah, getting him to 1 HP. The Rum is really good. One thing that I need to learn about the Rum, and I actually know this, is I want to make sure that the Rum can't be applied just by, like, traveling through the heroes. I'm pretty sure it can only be applied by the splash of the boat, but I'm not 100% certain about that. I guess it would be kind of overpowered if the travel of the boat would give you the Rum, but I might eat my words, because if that is the case, it's just one of those strong things, because like getting that Rum is so important. So if applying it is easy, then it is so strong. Just to let you guys know that if you guys don't know, the Rum, the boat isn't just a nuke. If you don't know, the Rum gives you a diminishing damage acceptance. And I'm gonna talk about that later as this Lich gets completely got on and he's way too squishy. But here comes the boat from the Burrow Strike. The combo is way too strong, instantly annihilates the Faceless Void. Breathe Fire taking the last kill on that. But now Exalted is about to go down. Spectre gets killed, and the Doom doesn't get dead after the fact that he got hit by the boat. And unfortunately, this is going into 3v3 now. Rubik's on the run, and he gets killed by the Tidebringer. Now DK's all by himself. The Radiant are actually going to get a complete team wipe from this, unless they fight in the wards, and DK's fighting in the wards. There's the stun. The Bristle Blast is strong, but can he fight in these wards this long? Now he might be able to turn it. DK doesn't have anything left. He doesn't even have a Breathe Fire, and that would be one thing that would help kill this Bristleback, but it's not enough. He's bottling up. Now he has a Breathe Fire. Will the Bristleback come back in? No, he will not. A really intense big, it was almost a complete team wipe for the Radiant team, killing all of the Dire team. And that's once again, if it wasn't for the Burrow Strike, the rank 4 Burrow Strike doing tons of nuke damage, I mean, not tons, I mean 280 is like okay, but just the ability to stun for that long and multiple targets being hit every single time, plus the Sandstorm damage, this Sand King is doing work right now. He has done exactly what Sand Kings are supposed to do, and he is definitely setting up the boats. Like, you need the setup, and he is timing it perfectly. The coordination coming out from Chocobo and Skepta right now is truly, truly next level. Now it's 19-9 after that engagement, and Spectre is looking really happy. He did die, or she did die in that fight, but look at what he... I'm just going to call it he. It's probably a guy playing it. I mean, let's be real here. It's probably a guy. He has almost his Diffusal Blade. And so he's going to go an earlier team fight. So although, you know, like Spectre is going to be a late game carry, yeah, you have to be afraid of that late game DK and the late game Faceless Void. So doing that early action is really good, especially against those strength heroes and, well, just the heroes with low mana pools, and being able to burn all that damage, just extra damage in general with your Haunt. It's one of the only items that can give that much damage from your Haunt. There is a torrent onto a stolen torrent onto the Lich, and he's low HP now. Now it's 5 Radiant heroes pushing the mid tower now. Spectre doesn't have his, Jesus, there's a Burrow Strike right onto Initiation on the Shadow Shaman, and plus there's the Chain Frost coming out doing work, and it's 2 already dead. The Doom and the Shadow Shaman instantly getting killed. Rubik almost got killed just a little bit, but Radiant doing really well. There was a Doom onto Bristleback, but that's only good if you're trying to kill Bristleback, and now there's the Blink Burrow Strike onto the Rubik, finishing him off. He was way too caught out, given the fact that Sand King has that reach, the ability to blink, plus the Burrow Strike giving them the extra distance and the ability to damage someone who's caught out like that. And that's going to be a mid tower going the way of the Radiant. And here's an Epicenter actually going on Faceless Void. This is going to be a solo kill unless there's a lot of backtracks, which I think there was. I counted maybe a couple backtracks. Now, the Chronosphere comes out, but he did get the tower in the Chronosphere, so it's not going to be doing tower damage. And unfortunately, he tried to make something happen, but there was too much of a response from the Radiant. And not enough response from the Dire, speaking of which, now Dire's come in after the fact. Are they going to be able to make something happen? Radiant's turning on this. There's an X. Doom's not going to get away. There's the Frost coming out from Lich, and there's the Fade Ball onto the Radiant, doing a lot of damage. Spectre's almost dead. Running away tower hit's going to clean him up. And on the backlines, Bristleback's going ham onto Doom. Doom's getting slowed. 2 stacks of Nasal Goo, and he's going to be able to get away, but Bristleback is just too tanky. Look how strong he is. Like, he doesn't care. That's just one of the strengths of Bristleback right now. He's just way too strong. And on the backlines, Lich actually gets bursted by a Dragon Tail plus the Breathe Fire. DK looking for a couple more targets. Does he have anything more? Things are on cooldown. Like, his abilities are on cooldown. I could say his things are on Uncle, and he does have a wand charge as well. The drum not being used to chase because that Bristleback is just too fast with the Warpath. But yeah, Dire, so doing it's actually going back and forth. That's the exciting thing about this match is, honestly, the Radiant have done so well, I'd say, in initiating. They're being offensive and they're getting kills, but maybe they're overstaying their welcome. Maybe that's it. Or maybe it's just the fact that Dire has the ability to chase down single targets after the fact, and Dire comes in and is able to clean up quite a few targets, so it is going back and forth. Although, I mean, it does look 24-11, like that's definitely true, and there's definitely an XP and gold lead there. But there's still the threat of that Chronosphere, and they're definitely able to get those pickoffs as long as Radiant are as long as Radiant doesn't continue to group up, is what I was trying to say. Because definitely Radiant has grouped up more than Dire has. Dire's been on the back foot, and they've had to respond to Radiant so far. And so that's really where I see Radiant coming true and carrying to the late game in their favor, is if they continue to group up and continue to capitalize on that Sand King blink to set up those boats. It's just too strong. But yeah, going back on the roaming, if you guys... if you don't know, it gives you a buff which prevents damage from being applied when it's supposed to, and spreads that damage over a longer time, and the damage is HP removal, which means it can't kill you. It's non-lethal damage. So even if you would have died and it's applying the damage over a longer time, it's HP removal converted, which means it won't kill you. Very strong. And that's why we see sometimes a support Kunkka being picked up, because he is strong without farm. I mean, obviously he's heroes with 0 passives. He has all clickies, which means, you know, he's still pretty much considered as a support. And although he's grouped in the melee support category, which is hard to make room for, he is definitely good. But they're smoked up, and actually it gets revealed on the back lines, but it is 5v3 right now. The rest of the Dire is nowhere to be seen, and there's the Wards Pop, the Chain Frost doing work, the Sand King Burrow Strike in the epicenter, instantly annihilating 2 of the Dire team. They were caught out, and now the Desolate damage. Spectre getting a kill and be happy to get that kill and farm these wards. Radiant found what they were looking for, and like I said, grouping up, they know they're strong, and they know they can carry this to late game as long as they suppress some of the Dire. I mean, it would be, I would wonder to myself who would win in late game given the equal farm, but now that Radiant has that team fight and they're using it well, this is definitely boding bad for Dire to say an obvious statement. I mean, it's easy to say that now, but I would say that that's definitely true about their lineup, is if they group up, they have the strength. So it's just capitalizing on their strengths, and the Dire basically doing the same thing. They're kind of just saying, okay, we'll stall as long as we can and try to get that farm. And this Faceless Void is definitely underfarmed, I'd say, for 21 minutes. I mean, he has been killed. He's 3-3-1. And only has a mom to his name. And then the DK going the early BKB. Yeah, it's going to be definitely really good against Radiant's everything. But the damage isn't there. So that's one thing that to say about Dire's lineup right now is if they're not grouped up, they have single target killing ability, but their damage is not there, so they can kill 1 or 2, but they've used all their moves on 1 or 2, and that's it. And then there's nothing there, and they don't have the sustained right clicks yet because, you know, they're late game carries, and they just don't have that sustained right click. Those carries aren't, you know, a Slark or, you know, a Phantom Assassin or, you know, kind of a Juggernaut. The people that can do really good sustained damage in the early game. And Juggernaut's okay. I mean, his ult is kind of like sustained damage, just tons of damage. But DK trying to TP out here after pushing this tower, but the Burrow Strike was there, as it has been all game. And there's the, I want to make sure I'm getting this right, Frost Blast. There's a lot of ice moves in this game, so Frost Blast coming out and slowing him down. And there's no way to escape from a Bristleback. The goo is too good. I mean, really, how much goo can you store in that nose? I mean, that's a lot. Chronosphere being used on Exalted One. Spectre's way too tanky now. There's the Mom. It's being popped, but is he going to get hit by this boat? It actually misses. The Mom is actually hurting him here because of the enhanced damage, and he wasn't able to time walk away, despite the fact that he had it up. Too many stuns, and yeah. So, Dire getting punished. It's definitely not looking good. This is... Yeah, I mean, this is what do you draft for? You like when you're Radiant and Dire, what are you drafting for? So when you're Dire, you're like, okay, we're gonna be able to take it. Late game's ours. We'll say that. But can we get there? We've got strong single target picks. Can we make the picks happen? That's kind of the things that you're thinking about when you're Dire. Can we get early map control by just utilizing our one support hero that can push the towers almost single-handedly, Shadow Shaman? So you have some of those ideas, and they are strong by themselves, but Epicenter being channeled here on a Burrow Strike on the Doom, instantly kill him. Wow, this guy is so strong, and that's a Shadow Shaman that goes as well. And it's Darude Sandstorm, or Darude, however you want to say that band name. I call it Darude, but that's just how I first heard it, so flame me if you'd like. But yeah, Sand King, he's a strong hero, and now he's got a Dagon. He's just like, you know, I'm gonna burst down these people, and that's kind of smart because, like I was saying before, like Dire has more lockdown. Radiant does have the stun on the Burrow Strike, but if they can burst people down before they're even able to act, that means that's the deciding factor that says Doom doesn't get off or Chronosphere doesn't get off, and that is so important in terms of deciding a team fight, to say the least. But Chronosphere is up. It is rank 2 now, but he decides not to use it because, once again, they're not grouped up. Dire's not grouped up, but he actually time walked onto the ledge, so he is out of this fight completely AWOL. Rubik got so much goo on him, there's nothing he can do. Warpath is just too strong. Now there's a solo Chain Frost on the DK. Did not doing that much damage, but here comes the Spectre. Diffusal Blade in tow, doing tons of damage to everyone, but Spectre did get doomed out, so there's not going to be some of those passives. That doesn't matter. Here comes the goo. The Bristleback's chasing. Warpath is strong. Here comes the boat. It's off the mark, but it gives rum to the people that need it. This Spectre is definitely not going to go down. The HP removal is going to be there, and Spectre is out of the Doom. She's completely free of the Doom. She's now in Paradise, where she doesn't have to worry about being doomed, and GG gets called by the Doom, speaking of which, from the Dire team. GG's indeed. A well-played battle by the Dire team, I'd say. Just a perfect example of how you use a team fight-oriented lineup, and an unconventional one, to say the least. So that's what's extra cool about Radiant's lineup, and, well played indeed, and well played to the Dire as well. I mean, they had that set up, and they stayed in the game for as long as they could, and they definitely drew it out and almost came back there. It was definitely really close. So, well, that's the first game that I've casted today, and I will be casting another. So I'll see you in just whenever the next lobby comes up, which is probably under 10 minutes. And now my cursor's missing because it's awesome. So I need to. My cursor's missing. Look at guys. Volvo, please fix. All right, there it is. Yeah. Oh, hey, Rankshis is online, so maybe he can join me for this second cast. Oh, I do have my super high production value in between match sign that I can show you guys. Boom. Hashtag production value. There we go. I'll just leave this up right here. Do 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 do. Whip 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 whip. Oh yeah, I make my own music because I upload these to YouTube, and then I get copyright hits. So I have to beatbox, which I'm kind of good at, ish. Kind of good at it. That's just my casual one. You shut your face. You shut your face. Sorry. I mean, it is like I actually use a different area of my mouth for that one, and it's just silly. It's almost silly sounding, you know. because there's a difference. You've got like, and that's casual. But then you're like, and he uses just different parts of the mouth, and you know it's way more intense. Yeah. How many viewers do we have? 2 viewers? You kidding me? God. Road to TI5 main stage. So good. The match is just beginning pretty soon. Oh, there's Tyler. AKA Rankshis. Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Thanks for turning off that fan.
Yeah, I know. I turned it off and then I was like, game hasn't started yet. I'm turning back on.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh shit, I forgot to turn off my stream and turn it on to make it so that like every video is separated. It's so hard to like cut up the VODs and then like name them individually. But
G's gotta do a better job.
Well. Oh well. But then again, like that's just kind of a bad practice because you're making your stream go offline, and then people that are viewing it like will definitely leave if you like leave it offline. How's my volume?
Sounds fine to me.
Sounds fine to Rankshis, yeah. Okay, we're back. We're back here in the Reddit Dota 2 League RD2L, here with your host Nex and your other host Rankshis. That's his go-to noise. Rankshis.
That'll be my catchphrase.
Right, yeah. It's like you're known as Rankshis whoop whoop Rankshis.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this analogy is gonna be bad because he doesn't have a last name for his code name. So but we're here. The draft is underway between teams Woo _ versus Sean Appreciation Interest Club. And I don't even know. Some inside joke. And yeah, so
I'm gonna bet you one of those guys is named Sean, and he changed the name to something he's created ahead of time, and now his team is stuck with it.
See, this is why we have Rankshis here. He's able to piece together the unknowns for us. He's the analysis master.
Yeah, I know kind of what's going on, just
things.
in a general sense of life.
Right, exactly. Just go to him.
Dota.
He's like this wise Indian messiah that you can go to with your problems and smoke peyote and get through your problems in a completely
Don't be telling people about my peyote.
Don't be bringing my peyote into this.
I'm not even sure where I would acquire such a thing. All right, so we should honestly get to what's happening here in Dota.
Right. Tell me about what you believe to be, first.
So I mean, obviously, like some super standard bans happening. First pick Skywrath Mage. People ever since TI have been super favoring that, even if I don't personally believe in it for a variety of reasons, but there they are. A Kunkka first pick, which is super surprising to me, and a Lich follow-up pick, which is less surprising. People kind of sort of like Lich. I think he should be favored more than he currently is. He has a lot of strengths with Chain Frost. He can pretty much auto-win any lane. His ult, like I said, Chain Frost is is really good. It's just oh, and his armor for buildings, new buff. It's really good against most pushing, and like pushing's kind of the name of the game into a lot of regards. So that's good. And then a Wraith King follow up for the Dire, which wow, a lot of stuff happening right now. But that's also kind of standard.
Yeah. Wow.
And then, yeah, back to Radiant. They have a Morphling, kind of standard, and a Timbersaw. You don't see that so much these days, but they do have a Wraith King and a Centaur, so it does have some merits here. And a follow-up pick Centaur and AA. I don't hate the AA, and people enjoy Centaur. Centaur is pretty good for a variety of reasons. Like first off, they have the Lich bounce, they have Kunkka ship. Like just getting away from those things are going to be really good, and escaping Timbersaw is also kind of hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not sure if like Wraith King was picked up like because they wanted it, or if it was because to like make sure that the that Radiant don't get it next round, but they could have banned it out, I suppose. But picking it's just one of those solid things. I mean, he's a good support anyways, so
yeah. And even if you are forced into playing him as a carry, which it kind of looks like they're doing here, like I still think he's a solid hero. He's easy to kite and escape from, but they do have that Centaur, they do have the AA to try to lock people down, and the Skywrath has a slow. You have a nuke damage, it's there. You can kind of piece stuff together.
Yeah.
I think with their final pick, they really should get a mid hero that can help Wraith King in some way, whether it be a disable of some sort or giving Wraith King some sort of mobility himself. But we'll see what they do.
Yeah. My guess is that the Wraith King is actually being played as a support. That's just my feeling right now, and that the last pick will actually be some kind of carry.
They have the Skywrath and the AA already. Unless it's a mid Skywrath, like
yeah, the lanes
I don't see. Yeah, I don't see people do that, and I still think it is an option that's available to people. But we'll see. Radiant team final ban is the Viper, which I think is pretty smart. Like I was saying, they need a mid hero to kind of piece this together, and Viper would be so good with Wraith King, just slowing people down constantly so Wraith King can just keep up and keep bashing on people. So smart ban from the Radiant, in my opinion, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, what I like about Radiant's pick, well, like especially the Timbersaw pick, is that just sustained damage for like the Wraith King who's gonna reincarnate, and just like cutting through the Centaur's health is really important. Just like a lot of sustained damage. Like Timbersaw is like one of his best traits to sustain. And if you look at Radiant's team, they have a good amount of it. Like the Frost Blast on Lich is pretty low cooldown. You've got like Tidebringer coming out a couple times, and like the Waveform is low cooldown coming out from Morphling, and just an okay amount of sustained damage. They do have like some team fight with the ultimates, but like they got a good amount of sustain. And Nature's Prophet being picked up lastly from the W team. And so yeah, I guess they just want to split push and or team fight with it, which I've seen some teams pick. But Outward Devour, the last one coming out from the Dire team, and yeah, I guess the burst is kind of nice on Sanity's Eclipse, the pure damage for Timbersaw, and just all the heroes. What do you think about the OD pick?
I saw Liquid play OD in TI really well for the game and then fail super hard, but other than that, I have not been a fan of OD for many patches now.
Well, that and they're kind of picking it into what I would suppose would be a mid, but then like the Lich was probably going to mid with that Morphling. Like I've seen that happen. Maybe they'll send him off lane, but especially with the OD, like they're going to the OD's probably going to want to dodge that lane, I'm guessing. That's gonna be tough.
Perhaps. I do think sending the Lich mid with the Morphling would be smart. Actually, I think it's going to be a Kunkka, truthfully, but we shall see.
Yeah.
This is a support Kunkka, actually. Now that I am looking at it, which,
totally
yeah. Hey, I love seeing support Kunkka.
Yeah,
I think once you learn how to do X marks the spot into torrent into boat, it's a really solid hero. Like Ghost Ship has such a low cooldown, and it's just super easy to set up and land. It does a lot of damage, and the rum buff is amazingly good in a team fight.
Yeah, I was just talking about just range carries in general, and so like that's why like range carries they're just so much more worth it because they can make room for a Kunkka. And the Kunkka wasn't being used as a support last game, but it definitely can be. It just totally, like I was talking about how strong Rum is. Rum did tons of work last game. And yeah, it's just so strong. So let's see. There was one last thing I was going to say, and that is completely forgotten at this point. So moving on to who's in these lanes. There's the tri-lane here, an aggro tri-lane coming out from the Dire on the Skywrath, the Wraith King, and the Ancient Apparition, and the farming Wraith King. So yeah, you were right. So he's probably going to be farming here in this lane. Unless they're crazy, going Illidan Stormrage style and farming on the Skywrath Mage. Let's see.
I do not think that is going to happen.
Like the one time, well actually it was picked like 3 times, but the first time it happened, it was like domination. People were like, oh my god, it's so strong. But yeah, so OD is indeed, I was right about this one though, the Lich and Morphling versus the OD. Although the Lich is just kind of stacking, I guess, and not trying to zone out this OD. That's definitely something I think they could do. Giving this OD farm and levels is not the best idea. But bottom, there's the Chilling Touch on the tri-lane. Although the Kunkka's running away, he's not slowed by anything. There was Arcane Bolt coming out from the Skywrath. I think that if he had got Concussive Shot, that's the important move to get because of the Chilling Touch is what you're really banking on. So. Yeah,
it seems weird to get Arcane Bolt to start. Like, Disables seem to work so much better over some sort of spammable nuke, specifically for like level 1 First Bloods.
Right. Well, that's one thing I see people do in general too much, is like they'll even level Arcane Bolt more than anything else. And while I still think that's really good, I mean, obviously the pros are doing it sometimes, so I totally get it. But that's like, you're just putting a lot of eggs in one basket, like that you're going to be able to, have enough mana to spam, and that, like, you know, it's just mainly, I guess, a mana issue. Because in the early game,
it's really item dependent. Yeah, you definitely, if I could see the merit in it, if you got like super fast mana boots or like a Staff of Wizardry or something just amazingly quick, and then you can be like, okay, clearly this is the correct option because I have this mana pool / int to really like take me farther.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a big fan of Ancient Seal. We'll see how this Skywrath Mage does it. And now those supports are roaming mid without any stealth whatsoever because of the Nature's Prophet Treant scouting them.
Yeah, well, how lucky can you get? Really, these are weird lanes now that we're kind of seeing it unfold, because this should be a support Kunkka, but he's soloing bottom against this Wraith King down here, when I think these supports could honestly just be getting kills on him. Seems pretty easy to do. It's not like the Lich is kind of threatening anywhere, so you could get him if you weren't going to do it, but you know, they're not doing that, just kind of hanging around.
Yeah, I think here
we go.
The action. Yeah, there's the root.
Yeah, see,
from the Wraith King blast actually into all the damage.
They could have been doing this for 2 minutes and 40 seconds now. Like, this should have been their second kill in my opinion, but here we are.
I'm gonna be real with everyone right now. I actually just stuttered and tripped over my own tongue because my girlfriend flashed me as she walked down the hall. So
wow,
just gonna
way to brag.
Put that out there for everybody.
Yeah, way to brag.
Way to brag. So but yeah, what I was saying before I was stripped of my ability to speak is that the supports should totally gank Morph. I think the Morphling gank is totally a smart move, but I don't know if they didn't. Obviously they didn't. I don't think they smoked for sure. They definitely didn't smoke. And like that would have gotten past the treants, and smokes are a good item. It's getting a little...
I agree with you that Morphling should be their target. They should be focusing on, but
now Lich is actually
they tried.
Supports. He's gonna do his best, but there's the right clicks. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think the support should be focused on getting the easiest person they can get, and that's definitely the Lich, who they didn't really know where he was, or the Kunkka, who is kind of under his tower, but they have a stun, they have follow-up, they have damage, like, they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So they can make stuff happen all throughout the map. It's just rotating in a way that's well-chosen and well-timed. Kunkka's back in this lane. They're going to try to go back on him as soon as Chilling Touch comes off cooldown in about 12 seconds. But I did want to note that the Nature's Prophet is aggro jungling now.
Yeah, that's smart. They know that the supports keep rotating through the jungle, and that means the other jungle's completely free. Nobody's going to be in there. Definitely where he should be.
Yeah, if he should have a TP with him, I'd say. If he's doing this, it's a little risky to not have a TP, but you know, there's really nothing that's going to scare him too much. And last hit-wise, Dire's in the lead. Wraith King and OD topping the charts. Wraith King's doing really well here on the bot lane in this aggro tri-lane.
Yeah, I'd kind of expect that, specifically considering he has both the supports with him. Oh, and they're getting the counter ward. They definitely know that they can see him,
Yeah.
so obviously a ward somewhere.
Well played. Well played. This is just, in general, a really easy D-ward spot. If for those of you wondering, I would place the sentry always right here where I'm pinging, because it does get right here on the map, if I can draw right there, and then it also just is closer towards getting it here, which some people will put there as well. If you're now to counter even that sentry, I like the observer right about here. Here blocks the camp, if I can find where my alt key is, and then also right here we'll get vision of this area and also up top. So yeah, right at this intersection there is a good one.
Wow, pro tips coming out right now on a really slow game.
Yeah. I am a huge fan of like obviously of supporting, but of vision in general. But now Skywrath Mage is TPing mid. This is a really hardcore TP. Consider like the OD had a DD pop for just a couple seconds, but I think that the Skywrath just thought that the OD was going to get dived by the Lich and the Morphling, which is totally a kill worthy duo. They can make it happen.
I kind of don't know how this Lich is spending his time. I feel like he should constantly be mid, but I see him like going into the jungle a lot and hanging out on the side. And I know Morphling wants levels, but like the point of it is to like deny as much as you can to that OD, and that OD's not getting denied too terribly much. Like the occasional creep he's not getting, but that's the first time I've seen him like walk up and blast him, and we have a dive happening top.
Oh yeah, the Timbersaw is going ham, and Nature's Prophet's TPing as well. Is there going to be a Sprout? Yes, there will. Now there's going to be the Timber Chain and the Swirling Death, and finally the couple right clicks will kill the Centaur. Good rotation from the Radiant, and smart that the Nature's Prophet has Sprout at level 5. Note that this is happening, but an Invis OD, he's waiting to make something happen. Will he be able to get an Astral Imprisonment plus Sanity's Eclipse on anyone? He's kind of saving it. Now he's waiting for the first damage, but he actually only had 1 stack of the Astral Imprisonment, and now the Chakram's there. The Nature's Prophet goes down, but so does the OD in retrospect. A 1v1, and now the Timbersaw is not going to have any mana to go on this Skywrath Mage. But a TP in from Centaur, maybe this actually the Stampede is down, so he's just coming back to farm. But now is the boat going to be here? Oh, the Kunkka's actually only level 5. Forgot that he is actually had a really bad time there in the bot lane, getting zoned out.
Yeah, this. If you look at this Wraith King, he's 42-4 right now. He's definitely had the best lane by far, which means the Kunkka's had just a devastating time bottom with his 9-0 last hits at the moment. So even XP wise, he is low.
Yeah, but to touch back on the Lich dual lane here, but they're actually going on the OD as I'm speaking. Make sure they're just so this is what he should be doing. Now Lich gets the mana back from sacrifice. I mean, he's sacrificing, but as long as if he's not spamming that Frost Blast, he's kind of doing it wrong. And so here's the thing: you don't need to go that far back. XP range is only I think 1400 range, and so from the OD's perspective, that's about right here. And so as long as he's on his high ground, you can exactly sacrifice how he just did. And is right where he did, he sacrificed right there. And that is perfect. And that's where you need to do it, because then you don't need to run away. You can get levels yourself. And while that's happening, an action is going on top. Kunkka's getting gone on. He is slowed down, but now he had tons of mana come back from his wand. He did pop that. Centaur is about to go down, but just before the Kunkka, I believe. Yeah, the Timbersaw gets the Centaur first. And that's a 1-for-1 here, but the AA died, I think.
AA. He was killed by a neutral. Yeah.
Oh, denied himself or something. But Sprout,
yeah,
not an overpowered hero.
I'm pretty sure it was the blast from the Satyr that did the job there, and it was completely by accident.
Oh man, that Satyr is just so evil. So actually, yeah, Satyr Tormentor. That's right, because they're all kind of Satyrs. Let's see, Satyr Tormentor, Mind Stealer, and I forget what the small ones actually called. Oh, I got it right here. Banisher. Okay.
Wow, look at that. So if we go back to the OD for a second, like this hasn't been his skill build the whole time. He had 3 Imprisonment, 2 Aura, and 1 Sanity's Eclipse. Like that's I don't know in particular what's the best build anymore, but when people used to play OD way more often, it was max Imprisonment, max Essence Aura, and then you would start getting your Sanity's Eclipse and your Arcane Orb, but games don't last that long anymore, like forcing people to try to go with new builds, and it just seems to make OD a whole lot less effective to me. And Kunkka, you're never gonna land that straight up, hey, look at me boat, just saying it now. But I guess good try.
Cool boat, bro. Stampede getting popped top in order to stun the Timber Saw that's going down. And Cold Feet's gonna be there, but stunning mid-chain. The nerf being hardcore. He might have got away if it hadn't been for that nerf, and the nerf rearing its ugly head. The ability to get stunned mid-chain and stops you in place. That happened a while ago, by the way. That's not a new thing.
Yeah.
But now silenced on the Morphling, and he's still going to be able to pop his. Actually, no. I thought during silence you're able to pop your morph. Maybe I'm
you can do it during stun, not silence. Yeah.
Yeah. Dota logic.
The more you know.
Game of exceptions.
I still am not sure why that is a thing you can do, but it sure as hell is.
Yeah, Morphling, I can't say that Morphling would get much play if it wasn't for that fact. AA's got his ult, now he's shooting it bottom. Is the Wraith King going to follow up on this? Yes, he is going to try. Will he be able to get some lucky crits? There's one, not two, there's three, and another one, but is he? No, there's no way he's going to die from that. He needs to go down to 100 HP, lower than that. Now the Reincarnation gets popped and a boat into a Sprout, but the blink from the Blink Dagger. I didn't actually know he had that, but there it is.
Yeah, he got it just a little bit ago.
Just a good item in general. It's like it gimps you, but it's just good on him. It just really is.
A lot of people like favor Blink on Wraith King nowadays just because like he's so easy to kite. Like you'll never catch somebody, and it wastes so much of the stun duration.
Now the Blink Dagger going on. The global AAO, it's going to be off the mark, but they didn't even need it with the right clicks and the Arcane Bolts coming out now. Nature's Prophet's TPing away, but there's nothing going to be able to stop him going to safety. Outworld Devourer in the meantime gets a kill on the the Timber Saw here. Boom, right there. And oh, OD is AIDS to keep spouting acronyms. I was looking, I was like, DDOD is, and I was like, there's got to be a better acronym, but AIDS is what. Yeah. But
and OD going the patented 11-minute 44-second Hand of Midas build.
Ooh yeah. Learning from Arteezy.
You're really just putting so much confidence. I mean, they are ahead like that. It's totally legit now that I say this out loud. Like the Wraith King, he'll carry so much of your weight till you're ready to go. And OD is a hero that really wants a Midas. Like you definitely want that max level Sanity's Eclipse, and you definitely want your Arcane Orb to start going up. But even more than that, you want stats. You want that int. Like, and it's overly helpful on certain heroes, one of them being OD.
Wow. There was a really close engagement. Morphling's really low right now, and he was even lower, and there was a Skywrath mage with a Mystic Flare in tow, just didn't notice him in fog, like right here. It was kind of funny. But like going with what you said, if we look at Dyer's team, and then like you're thinking Radiance items, like look how much BKBs would do well for the Radiant team. Like, they would nullify pretty much everything coming out from the Dyer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, like, yeah, like OD is just one of those heroes that's so countered by BKBs. It's crazy. No pure damage, no Sanity's Eclipse damage. And yeah, but there was a Stampede. I'm not sure who that was actually for. Actually, I'm missing some action now that my question gets answered near the tier 3 on bot lane, and AA ult Ice Blast almost gonna be on the mark. Is it? 3, 2, 1. He stands right in it and gets killed by the Ice Blast.
Wow! If he would have moved a foot forward, everything would have been all right.
Yep. It's so hard to remember, but if there's an AA on the team, try to go back there, or just kind of wait here for a while.
Yeah, I see people more often than not hang out way to the side, like over here somewhere. Just wait. You know it's coming. Might as well just wait.
Yeah, and while we're talking about frivolous things, Centaur gets killed top. I'm gonna tell you guys when I'm casting on these days that I work 10 hours, I'm gonna miss some kills. But maybe it's like training with the ankle weights on. It'll train me to be even better when I take the ankle weights off.
Well, another kill's about to happen top. Yep. AA ult into Wraith King, blink into stun, into death.
Yeah, just like how I spin that? Naruto. Oh, well, Naruto too. DBZ did it first.
Okay, but Naruto did it better.
They did it better. I'll agree with that. I agree.
What for?
I was talking about ankle weights. And she's like, Naruto did that. I'm like, Let me tell you, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. Oh,
did you ever see Goku-san?
Oh, the headphones are coming off. 1v1 me mid. You what, mate? I swear on me mum. Are you having a piss, mate? Sorry to all my British viewers. Centaur going in on Nature's Prophet. Ice Blast is going to be right onto the mark. The Hoof Stomp was enough to set it up, and now the X is definitely a dead Nature's Prophet. But on the back lines, a Lich goes down to the Mystic Flare, showing the mystic power of the Skywrath Mage. And now a Blink Hoof Stomp onto Kunkka, but he's tanky. Of course he is. He's a Kunkka. And now the Cold Feet not going to hit because of the speed. Kunkka's actually fast too. Those phase boots doing work. But now Morphling is there to show him how those Ethereal Blade Gauntlets, the magic is there. But now another Blink. Oh, the double edge is almost about to kill him. Is the Morphling going to do anything? He's got to wait for him. He misses the... Oh, wait, I forgot. This Morphling's on the Kunkka side, and he went for the Centaur. I completely missed that, and now I'm choking on spit that's in my mouth because I've been casting for way too long in this engagement. Alright, I'm good. I'm good, everybody. It's hot in Seattle. Give me a break. OD Astral Imprisonment on the Timbersaw. And now Timbersaw's coming out of the Astral Imprisonment like, I can't do math as well, and less mana to show for it. And now there's the Timber Chain, the Chakram, and almost the TP out, but there's too much damage on the Radiant side. Yeah, wow, what an action-packed game.
Poor OD.
It's
yeah, it started slow, but...
About 1.3 kills per minute. Sign of a good Russian game. Or maybe a good game here, the average game in the Reddit Dota 2 League. High power games here, people. Pay attention to the Reddit Dota 2 League. This is where the pros come from. And a boat, but the Blink Centaur is going to completely make it whiff. The boat doesn't hit anything. Chain Frost is going to be right onto the Skywrath Mage just to make sure that kill happens. Kunkka's coming back in. Can he get an X onto the Centaur? Is there any chase? The Timbersaw's low mana. Not going to be able to chase as well, and because of that, they're going to back up. Man, the Blink Centaur initiation's really good. I'd say that their ability to, like, the confidence in that is always, like, really good. When you have a Sand King with a Blink or a Centaur with a Blink or something like that on your team, you're always confident in your initiations because it's just so solid, to say the least. The solid stun is the namesake of that. And Lich gets completely gone on, caught out here, right here in his own jungle. Actually, he was way too deep. That was the opposite jungle. He was just way too confident in that. Now, at his Sanity's Eclipse, taking out the Morphling, doing damage. And that's why they kind of might have picked that. Just the burst damage on the Morphling is really what's needed until those BKBs come out, of course.
That's so true. Like, if you want to counter Morphling, I suppose that OD would be a good way to do it in the mid-late portion of the game before Morphling just gets way out of control. And I think Lich died to put a ward up, which I guess, you know, it's a Lich. Totally worth it until all those other people died, and then it became far less worth it. But here we are. People made their choices. Yeah,
definitely. I think the line of blocking is right here, so I think this ward isn't going to block this easy camp, but that's pretty much probably not why he put that up, or the medium camp.
Yeah.
He probably just put it up just to get vision. And an unconventional spot, too. I recommend these unconventional spots. One I really like is right here as well, because the Sentry Ward coming out from this spot won't detect it. But, wow, this is just, a lot of people are able to get solo kills, and so we're just seeing kills across the board. The boat was off the mark right here in the middle. The X marks the spot. Doesn't have the right timing, and the damage from the Chakram canceled the Blink Dagger on the Centaur, so the Hoof Stomp was off the mark, thinking that he blinked. That's reminiscent of the whole Earthshaker Echo Slam, because of the Blink Dagger getting canceled by Plague Wards from Venomancer, or something of the like. Plague Wards are really good for that.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah. But of course, I'm not saying there's a Venomancer in this game. I'm just calling out the things that ruin Blink Daggers, because that is the most annoying thing that can happen if you're an Earthshaker. Top tower being denied by the Radiant team.
So, if we just start comparing teams here, I know the Dire team's obviously way ahead right now, specifically with their Wraith King, who's doing just amazingly well right now. He's probably going to finish up a Mulgenir here anytime now, and so everything will be groovy on that guy's life. But if we look at the Morphling, kind of his rival here, Morphling's actually way behind for a dude who built a Midas really early and had a support Lich with him in a lane who should have done probably a little bit more, but tried a little bit, so can't say it went too poorly.
Yeah, That's true. Yeah, wow. Sprout was a little off the mark, but now this Nature's Prophet is back with his team, and the blink comes out from the Wraith King just to blink to safety. And there will be no chase, but there is a stampede. Dire's ready to reinitiate. The hoof stop blink is on the Kunkka with the Ice Blast. It's going to be almost off the mark, but it actually doesn't need it. The double edge and the Nature's Prophet gets completely bursted. A Chakram, a Whirling Death coming out from the Timbersaw doing damage on the Dire team, but the Dire team's so low, but that doesn't matter. The Timbersaw goes down to the double edge. Centaur running away with his low HP, and now there's the Astral Imprisonment on the last member of the Radiant team, which is the Lich, the sorry Lich, as the Morphling's back in his jungle farming away.
I don't see why this Radiant team is playing as aggressive as they are. I know they were the ones who got initiated on by the Centaur after they like overcommitted on the, I think the Wraith King. I don't really remember truthfully, but they were in the Dire jungle. They're behind. They don't need to be in that jungle. There's no point to it. They have a Morphling who theoretically is gonna carry real hard here, like in another 20 minutes, but they need to make it there.
Yeah, that's definitely true. They're losing a lot of kills, and speaking of which, the Kunkka gets completely caught out by the Blink Wraithfire Blast, plus the Ice Blast on the Ancient Apparition, and it was able to take him down in really fast time. Yeah, able a surprising amount of damage coming out from the Wraith King now. He's got that Hyperstone and the Maelstrom. And a good amount of levels. The crit is completely level now, so yeah. So let's see. I mean, wow! I didn't even really think that the Dire was that many kills ahead. It kind of happened so gradually, and there was so much action. But
exactly, they were even for a while in kills, but this is the second time they've kind of overextended and given up kills. Maybe the third time actually. Like if they had a couple better decision making things happen for them, like they could still be in an even footing.
Yeah, absolutely. The Radiant side doesn't have as much like supports as we were noting before. We thought it was a support Kunkka, so they'll get stronger as the late game goes by, but this Lich has nothing. Like, it looks like he was trying to build a mech, so they don't even have a mech on their team. This whole time they've been trying to fight even without a mech, and now the Dire's pushing the issue. The Radiant goes completely down. Kunkka getting killed here in the bot lane. More picks being found by the Dire team.
Poor Kunkka.
Poor Kunkka. Ice Blast traveling across the map. It's going to grant the vision, and they get a hit on this. Wraith King already used his Blink Dagger to actually blink away, so there's not going to be anything on this. But yeah, the Radiant team doesn't have... They put offensive wards up originally, and so that's where their ward is right now. Their sole lone ward right here, and that means when Dire pushes like this, the Radiant are completely caught on the back foot with no vision. Vision's everything. That's why I talk about wards a lot, just in general. I'm not saying that the Radiant did bad with these ward setup right here, because, you know, the game's pace can change, and I'm going to interrupt myself as the Dire drops everything to kill the Timbersaw, and the Lich is so close right now. The Chain Frost is bouncing, but the Astral Imprisonment goes on the Lich, and it's still bouncing, but it finally is done. Now the Ice Blast comes out, the right clicks are way too much. Lich just kind of throwing himself. He did stall for the tower, but now there's 4 Dire here, and the Radiant's nowhere to be seen. There's actually the Wraith King Blink. Wait, I'm actually confused. The Kunkka is back after dying? No. Did he find it? I'm confused.
Radiant's bottom tower
I thought he died and was gone for a long time, but maybe he just...
I think, I mean, they're relatively low level-ish. Yeah, I think he got up and showed up to that, because his boat's on cooldown.
A res death, a res dieback.
Yeah, a totally normal thing that happens that can't really be attributed to buying back and then immediately dying.
Not dieback status, just get killed twice in a row.
Just
status.
live back status.
Yeah. Trying to make names for things. Maybe we'll create a name for that. But yeah, the Radiant was not grouped up. They're just like getting caught out completely now. So many solo kills have gone the way of Dire in the last couple minutes. And what loot is to be said for this Morphling? He's got his Lincoln Sphere almost online, but still got like 1,000 gold, and that's just a Lincoln Sphere. I mean, what? Yeah.
And what's a Lincoln Sphere gonna do for him? It'll block Wraith Fire Blast. It'll block one of Skywrath's abilities.
Yeah, exactly. 4v1, one other. Actually, the Radiant getting picked out versus Wraith King getting a little caught out here. The Reincarnation getting blown. It is a level 2 reincarnation, not quite level 3, so not the low cooldown. And Radiant might be able to make something happen in the next 140 seconds as reincarnation is down, as well as Astral Imprisonment being down for the next 50 seconds. And Radiant has all their cooldowns up, and they're pretty strong cooldowns. The Chain Frost will be up pretty soon. And maybe they can make something happen, or maybe they'll just keep farming.
They really need that level 2 Chain Frost, and I say that now. Lich is level 11. He hasn't put his point into it yet, but it'll make a huge difference once he gets it. Like, he's actually had a lot of really good Chain Frost this game. I was gonna say it earlier, but then action's starting to happen. Like, he's had like bounces that use almost every single bounce. Like, if it was just higher damage and more follow-up, things would have went well.
And now Dire, the Morphling, going on the Radiant right now, and he's just dead because the level 4 Ancient Seal just was doing enough, and maybe Silence is way more of a counter to Morphling than I thought, especially Skywrath Mage, because it's instant.
They picked into that too. Like, Skywrath doesn't have like a disable or anything, but that's what Morphling's good at dealing with, is disables, not silences. And so it seems weird that you would pick into it, considering, like, if you're a Morphling player, I would assume you would be like, wow, Skywrath Mage is gonna fuck me over if he's really good. Sorry, screw me over if he's really good. So
Lewd.
Sorry everybody, I'm a terrible person.
We're not getting paid the big bucks yet, which means we can swear like a sailor.
I can curse all I want.
Yep.
Oh, that always feels good when you trick somebody with an illusion.
Yeah, it really, really does. And we see that a little bit now. I've seen a couple times in Dota 2 League. Stampede being used, a double hoof stomp plus the Astral Imprisonment, annihilating 2 of the Radiant. Dire on the chase of the Radiant. They're on the prowl. Their prey's running. They have the taste of blood in their mouths, and they're not ready to quit. They're going to get their prey. Here
That's
comes
a bummer.
The other hoof stomp. Here comes the Blink Dagger. Oh, he actually he Blink Dagger on the Ancients for some reason. That's kind of interesting. Kunkka, he's thinking pro jukes swag. Like, yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but OD could have imprisoned the Kunkka, but instead he imprisoned himself on accident, allowing Kunkka to escape.
That does happen.
Yeah, that feel, everybody.
I do that with Shallow Grave more than anything else, as you well know.
Yeah. I suppose it happens.
Getting a kill. On to the Nature's Prophet.
So something I find kind of silly right now is the Radiant's previous ward setup had like this side of the map taken care of, but they've decided we're gonna switch that up and we're gonna carry about this part of the map. Yeah. It's just they only care about one side of the map at a time, which is kind of comical when you think about it. Like, I guess they're worried about Rosh more than previously, but before, I guess they just were like, whatever, they can take Rosh, not even a big deal. But now they're thinking to themselves, hey, Rosh is a big deal.
And now 3 orbs is all it takes. 3 intelligent arcane orbs from the Outworld Devourer.
By the way, this is why Midas is really good on OD. It took him 3 shots to get that guy down. Like, if he didn't have Midas, he would probably only be level 15 or 16. It may have taken 4, but like that, it's just exponential as time goes on to see how effective those levels are. Specifically, like past your level 16, because you get int for those levels.
So true. Combo actually landing on the Centaur, but he just brushes it off. He doesn't even care about some Ghost Boat as Morphling gets completely bursted down, and Centaur does get bursted down on the back lanes. The pure damage Whirling Death doing tons of damage, plus the Chakram, but now there's the Rayfire stun onto the Timber Saw, and he Timber Chains away, and he's gonna actually get to safety as on the back lines, Kunkka gets killed near middle, I believe. And now OD, defensive Astral Imprisonment, in order to save himself from any impending danger as his allies are able to reinforce him. Nature's Prophet, meanwhile, pushing top, getting
finally doing what a Nature's Prophet does.
But now
and that
blink
dagger
on the Wraith King, this blink is doing so much work this game. When you don't have any initiation on your team, even if you're the carry Wraith King, go that Blink Dagger. You're seeing it here, guys. Very, very strong. The reach, I'm just talking about that reach paradigm. If you can't draft for it, buy Blink Daggers because you need reach on your team. It's too powerful.
The Dire actually has like exceptional initiation, but I think it's more of a weakness of the Wraith King itself, because if you have to use your Wraith Fire Blast at range, like Wraith Fire Blast only lasts 2 seconds worth of stun, and you're going to use like 1.5 of those seconds running after you get there, and then how long did you really stun for that was like a usable amount of stun? A Blink Dagger like completely takes away that whole situation.
Yeah, that's totally
It just becomes a really important item for a Wraith King after a certain point. People I see used to go Shadow Blade more often for the exact same reason, but
1, 2, 3 punch combo going on the Lich.
Yep, there it is again.
Lich put out a bunch of dots in chat earlier. 12 orbs to be precise, but he's actually inaccurate. It only takes 3 orbs to kill him. Boom! Shots fired.
Radiant's top
Yeah,
tower
I'll
is
do
under
that.
attack.
Yeah, things aren't looking great for the Radiant team right now. They can't like leave their base, even if they had like tier 2s. It's not safe for them to stay by their tier 2s.
Morphling takes down the Lich. He like, or not the Lich, the Ancient Apparition. I get my ice heroes a little bit swapped here, but yeah, he pays the price with an Astral, a Sanity's Eclipse,
Radiant's middle
taking him
tower
out
is
with a
under attack.
DDoD. The AIDS once again rearing its ugly face. Yeah.
It's a way to put it.
AIDS has a really ugly face, guys. AIDS is a
Radiant's
serious
middle
problem.
tower is under attack.
We can't joke around with AIDS, guys. Have
So
some maturity.
as you well know, I am not a fan of Nature's Prophets, and he went to build that you're a fan of, which is Mechanism on Nature's Prophet, but it hasn't really made a difference in teamfights, nor have I seen him show up to a lot of teamfights, and I haven't seen him like split push towers either way. It just doesn't seem like he's doing a lot of Nature's Prophet things this game that are really important for Nature's Prophet to do.
Now, Rankshis and I will both agree that Nature's Prophet is ridiculously overpowered. Like, I mean, overpowered. We like to call it overpowered. I don't know if it's technically overpowered, but it definitely feels like it, and I would like to say that it's overpowered because the ability to teleport, his split push ability, and it's not being used here, like you said. And they even have Morphling to help split push as well. Morphling's really good at that. He can do it too. And so there's definitely some possibilities that could have happened in this game so far that would definitely help the Radiant. It's things to note when you play a lineup like this, as Lich gets murdered ruthlessly here in mid by the one true king.
That poor Lich, man. He needs to stay so much farther back than he currently is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paces too far out.
Yep. That's a way to mark it, I suppose.
This is long
Lich
paces.
The reason why he was probably so far out was because he doesn't have legs to count those paces, so...
Oh, the leg strat backfiring. You're totally right about that.
Yeah,
Bruno talked
exactly.
about the leg strat. But you know, totally getting caught out because of it.
Yeah, it's really hurting his performance here.
God. Amazing. I love it. You're like slowly transforming into the pointing out ridiculous silly things. I love it.
I mean, you were the one who started with this ridiculous pace nonsense of how far out he was.
Good. Now Rosh going down to the arcane orbs, pure damage, making Roshan look pretty as he gets like just gangbanged here in his own home. Look at how the orb looks.
Sparkling.
It looks awesome. Yeah, he's like a vampire. We're gonna name him Edward now. Edward the Roshan. Roshan the Edward.
Sean has fallen to the dark.
I'm too silly. My silliness knows no bounds. How dare you, mortal, underestimate my silliness. Yeah. So, wow, this is another mech. This is like the second time I've seen a mech Nature's Prophet, like, not pay off. I think it's a good idea, but once again, you have to, like, use it. You have to push, like, as a group. If you, like, have a mech, you have to, like, use it. Like, if you have a Morphling that wants to, like, farm in something and, like, the rest of your
this
heroes...
OD doesn't give a fuck, by the way.
Okay, yeah,
he's just
totally
like, I'm gonna go up. Yeah.
Lich is gonna need more dots to count the amount of orbs hitting his face. And this OD, wow, the OD's pure damage is hurting Morphling so much, and he's actually gonna kill him before he goes down. And now he's turning, defensive astral imprisonment, but here comes the shock from nothing to save this OD, and he almost gets the kill on the Timber Saw. Almost baited out the kill.
And the buyback. Wow, so I actually haven't seen a Morphling versus OD before, but OD is tremendously good at dealing with a Morphling.
Yeah, I didn't really consider Morphling as one of those targets. Like, I'd consider the Timber Saw or Husker or something, but like, yeah, Morphling. Put it on the list of things that Arcade Orbis just rips through. Comes the Chain Frost.
Oh, then the Chain Frost. Dang.
What a bitter
Chain Frost
waste.
is good, but you need the setup for Chain Frost, and where's their setup? I guess it's the Kunkka should be the setup, but the Kunkka, let's be honest, everybody, this Kunkka's got nothing, so he's got his sweet Drum of Endurance.
Yep, and here comes the Wraith King. He's manning up level 3 Reincarnation as Kunkka gets completely blown up by the Mystic Flare. Lich going down as well. Probably one orb, one shot by the Arcane. GG comes out from Kunkka, and finally, it's sweet victory. 14-42 here for the Dire Team. Team SAIC. Don't know what it stands for. Didn't even look when it began, because I'm a pro caster.
We most definitely did look as it began.
What?
It was something fan club. I don't remember. Some dude's name.
That's
appreciation.
Right. It was Sean's appreciation. Oh, there it is.
Interest.
Wait, what? That was weird. It appeared in like
Sean
red
Appreciation
text.
Interest. Yeah, Sean Appreciation Interest Club.
Yeah.
I think is what it was.
Oh, okay. Appreciation.
And so
interest. Like the interest is appreciating. I'm catching on.
Sean Appreciation.
Club victory.
And then the Interest Club.
You see that? Club victory. That's funny. All right. Well, yeah, that's wrapping up comments about really what happened this game.
OD did way better than he should have. Lich needed to zone harder than he did. Nature's Prophet needed to... I don't like mech on Nature's Prophet. Like, I get the premise behind it and why it could be good, but you need to... Like, Nature's Prophet isn't that great of a hero just fighting, because all you have is a right-click and the ability to, like, hold somebody in trees. Nature's Prophet is good at capitalizing on wins to push towers. Like, wins team fights, I mean. Winning team fights to push towers. But, like, I don't think mech helps you do that all that much. Somebody else can build a mech, and you can focus on items that help with the tower portion, which is what you're good at. So I guess that's my opinion on it. I get why Kunkka had a bad time. Timbersaw did okay. Lit should have done better. Morphling, I guess, did his best. Should have built a BKB as opposed to a Lincoln's, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I definitely agree. To add to that, I don't think they have enough setup for the boat. Like, it's nice to have another setup for the boat. Like, you can get single targets guaranteed with your combo, but you can't get multiple targets, and that's one problem with it.
Yeah, I suppose that's right, but I don't know. Like, they don't have, like, the other team doesn't have any BKB, so it's not like they could have had any way to deal with it. They should have been able to pick off one person each time, other than, I guess, OD, who could have imprisoned himself. But you could have got that Centaur, you could have got either of the supports. It's kind of a waste on the Wraith King, unless you want to burn his first life really quick. But, yeah, I definitely think that the Sean Appreciation Interest Club did their jobs really well. Even that Centaur, who had a poor early game, got like a 10-minute Blink Dagger, and from that point on, he started making plays. He had a bad start, but he did good for his team.
Yeah. It's a victory here for the Sean Appreciation Interest Club. 34-minute, what a quick victory it is. And the snowbally tanky hero is just too strong. And yeah, so we're gonna cast. What time is it? That's the question. Probably should go to bed. I probably should. We'll see if I do. I might cast another. So if you check out, stay tuned. I might do another if another lobby appears right after this. So see you in just a bit, or maybe not. Kappa, I'm not giving you any guarantees. Why is that window still closed? What is this magic? Oh, yeah. Much better. Alright. I'm gonna probably cast one more. I totally don't know. Let's do it. One more cast. I actually don't know if Rankshis made it in. We'll see. Oh, good, you made it in. I didn't actually see that.
I just want to sit with my fan on for a moment.
Yeah, that's fine. Revel in this moment of pleasure that you're now experiencing.
Yeah, dude, that last game, there was a certain part where I was just like, oh my god, I would give anything to turn this fan on right now. Alright, you ready?
Yes, now I am ready. I just had to type out a couple things. Let me actually announce on Twitter because I want to. Announce Twitter. Strim. Go. RD2L in-houses. Alright.
10 seconds remaining.
Twitter. Alright, so we're back on the third casted game for today, and the last, actually. It's almost like it's a best of 3, but it's completely not. This is Next at Next Level Dota, with my host that I'm here with, who's amazing, the analysis, Rankshis.
Howdy.
He's from Texas, as we well know.
I'm not from Texas.
He's a wannabe.
All right,
Texan.
so.
But go ahead. Yes.
No, I'm from Yakima, but that's besides the point. All right, so a Lich first pick this game by Salmon Beavers. So by the way, Salmon Beavers, I know which team I'm rooting for right now. It is definitely Salmon Beavers. Look at that picture. It's a fish head with beaver teeth. Get out of here.
Oh,
but yeah, Lich first pick followed by a Skywrath Mage and a Mirana. And who wants to see a Mirana? But then Salmon Beavers picks a Nyx Assassin? Come on, more fun heroes? Salmon Beavers all the way. And then Mirana picks something else, or sorry, the Dire team picks something else boring, a Razor. That's fun to see. Let's see Salmon Beavers, what their excellent strategy here is going to be with their not final pick, but their third pick, which I can only assume is going to be amazing. Because, I mean, again, look at the picture. Salmon Beavers. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like their decision to ban out, on a serious note, ban out both the Shadow Demon and the Bane after they see a Mirana pick up. Like, you don't know what they're going to do. Most people in the professional scene play Mirana as a support, but, you know, this is the RD2L. Like, who knows how people are going to play Mirana, so ban out those setups, you know?
Yeah,
Don't give them an easy time about it. Shadow Shaman, yeah, Mass Serpent Warriors, that's cool. I like that.
That's even taking another setup out of the Dire's team.
Yeah, that's also really true. Tide Hunter, way to do something good, Dire team. I like it. Actually, the Dire team has a pretty sweet, like, oh my God, wow. Salmon Beavers, you're amazing. All right, so I gotta stick with what I was saying originally. Dire team, they have a Tide Hunter and a Mirana. Like, just the combo between those two on a team that's unprepared is real good. And then that gives Razor a nice setup. It gives Skywrath a good setup. Like, they have a really solid, like, team building thing going on. But let's go back to the far superior team, which is obviously Salmon Beavers with their Shadow Shaman Ursa. Like, come on. I remember, not that this is relevant to anything, but we were in a game not too long ago and there was this Ursa who like randomed Ursa, and we had a Shadow Shaman. We're like, laying with a Shadow Shaman, things will go great. He's like, nah, I'm gonna jungle for like 45 minutes and lose the game. And I was like, sweet, solid strategy, love it. I don't expect to see that here, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Well, I guess both teams, but like they're both really good. Like Radiant, they have like, okay, so normally when Ursa gets picked, he wants to get kited for one, and he wants to get focus fired because he's I mean, like, not that strong. Like, he doesn't have that much HP, and you can burst him down. That's how you counter an Ursa. You kite him and you kill him. You lock him down in that regard. But like now, if they focus on Ursa, they've got so many. They have to fight into a Chain Frost. They have to fight into like an Impale plus 2 CCs from Shadow Shaman. So the Ursa has the lockdown for him from that team. And
yeah, this is a great game for Ursa.
Yeah.
Or like a team for Ursa to have to support him. And their final ban was a Earthshaker, and you see some people set up a Mirana arrow with an Earthshaker, so totally understandable. The Dire team picking up the Alchemist, which I can honestly say I did not expect. I would say this is a support Mirana, but maybe it's a support Alchemist. Like, who even knows at this point? Mm-hmm. You can do either way if you truly want to. I kind of expect to see a carry Alchemist, I think, just because I think the nerfs to Mirana recently were too severe to make it easy for her to carry. She can obviously still carry, but it used to be a lot easier when point blank arrows gave you the 1 second stun. But you can't do that anymore. So it just makes a whole like kind of going. But it's harder to get kills. You really have to be at range to make those arrows count. And being at range really only is something you can do if you're playing a support hero. So I do expect the carry Alchemist, but we'll see what happens. And Salmon Beavers taking their time to decide what they want. They're definitely definitely, they're obviously creative, so
Yeah.
let's see what they do.
So two things. Like first, like if you have the setups for Mirana, like you can then get the arrows, of course. But the question is, can Mirana roam as a support and get those arrow kills because of the setups of the lanes that she's roaming to, or the support that she's roaming with? So like obviously it's not going to be a support Mirana and a support Alchemist, because then that'd be a farming Skywraith, but that would be a roaming duo that could actually do that. But that's not going to be the case. Most likely it's going to be farming on one of them. So can Mirana support and roam? I don't think she can, unless she only really ganks the Alchemist's lane. So I don't really see that being a thing so much.
I don't know. She has a Skywrath who could help with that scenario, and Tidehunter has Gush, and that could also help. But again, those are both slows. I mean, if you're amazing with Arrow, you can do it. And a Death Prophet.
And Death Prophet, the last pick coming out from Sound. Wow, Death Prophet making it to the last
good
pick.
hero, everybody.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say is, like, Ursa, like, Sam and Beavers have a great lineup for Ursa, but then again, we got to consider the team they're fighting into. And that Ursa has to fight into a Ravage, the Static Link that he's not really going to like attached to him. That's going to be rough. The Slow coming out from the Gush and the Skywrath Mage. This Concussive Shot. Plus, yeah, I mean, there's the Alchemist stun. So it is definitely still going to be tough for Ursa to, like, get into the fight unimpeded. I definitely think a BKB is going to be so huge for Ursa here. I mean, Static Link's still going to be there.
For sure.
So, I mean, but I think in general,
I really like their Death Prophet pickup. One, because Death Prophet's real good as a hero, and secondly, they obviously have to like focus this Ursa, which really gives Death Prophet like free room to like move around, and that's what you want as a Death Prophet. You don't need to sit there and right click. You just need to be able to move and let those spirits hit people and be able to blast people and so on and so forth. And like it'll be super helpful for her. I really like that pickup since they have an Ursa.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely looking good. I mean, if you were a betting man, what team would you go for besides the Salmon Beavers having an awesome name?
Yeah, so I wish I could say Salmon Beavers. I truly do, but I do like the Dyers team just because they have so much like area coverage, I guess is how I'll like choose to word this. If they want to any time they decide to take a fight, as long as they're a 5-man, there's going to be an acid spray, there's going to be like Razor doing AoE damage, and there's going to be a Tidehunter ult, and there's going to be a Mirana ult, and there's going to be a Skywrath ult. Like there's not a lot of safe places that they can be. But if Salmon Beavers can get ahead early and start snowballing, I don't think it'll matter. So it really, I think like the first 10 minutes of this game are going to be huge for Salmon Beavers. If they can pull out an advantage and stick with it, I think they'll win for sure.
I agree with that. They can definitely make some early aggression happen. There's a couple of camp dewards that have gone on this game. There's definitely the Radiant Safe easy camp, pole camp here being dewarded. That is a pretty typical placement. If you're trying to deward, the best deward this, if you think that it's on this side, like they came this way to try to ward, and you think it's generally on this side, you can place it right next to this rock right here. That's where you can place the sentry to actually counter ward that. And so, and then about the same thing happening to the Dire side, but actually it's the sentry that Nyx placed is off the mark. There is some action, so I'm gonna make sure he's not gonna get first blooded. But going back to the ward and the easy camp on the Dire side, yeah, it's too far to the right. You can't actually put it there. The line is about where this rock is, I think. There's this bush here, and there's a couple markers that you can actually look at, but it's about there. If you're gonna try to ward this camp, what I like, I mean, you can put it here if it's a sentry. That's one place. But what I like to do if it's an observer is right here. And that will give vision of this area as well as block. But you, of course, if you're trying to really hide it, you can also put it there as well. But yeah, there's the ward tutorial for this game, and I'm glad I didn't miss first blood while that was happening. I was a little scared because I heard some spike carapaces.
Totally called it, by the way. Alchemist carry.
Yeah, you did call it, and now I'm looking at the mid lane. Razor just getting actually zoned out by the Lich, who's actually doing the same thing. I don't know if this is the same Lich from last game, because he's going all the way back to deny these creeps, just like the last one. But at least he's throwing some Frost Blasts out, and with the Crypt Storms, they just totally nuked down this Razor. And that's a good way of nullifying him, because he doesn't have unstable concurrent right now, but yeah, just like he's not tanky right now, and you can definitely zone him out. I like the dual lane Lich.
Yeah,
Lich.
Lich.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Lich has kind of gravitated this way just as a hero, as your only job is to give somebody a hard time, and that's really helpful in the middle lane. And he did stack the large camp for the Death Prophet to take later, which is also really helpful. And he's trying to go for Rune, and he denies it. Wow, he's actually doing great this game. The only thing I wish he would have done different was also Frost Blast him, but you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll do that later. Yeah, see, he denied. He has full mana. He needs to use that Frost Blast. Like, Frost Blast is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it does do 125 damage at level 1. Not too bad. There are definitely weaker nukes, and if you're really trying to zone out this Razor, that little stuff counts for sure.
I'm honestly surprised there's no action from this Ursa Shadow Shaman lane yet. They have the space to do it, I feel, but they haven't yet gone for it. And Ursa's not even out farming the Alchemist. And like I said earlier, like if Salmon Beavers are going to win, they have to get an advantage. If this is just a really like even game for a long time, then they're going to lose. They can't fight on even terms. They have to be ahead to win. But they definitely have the mechanics that can force them ahead, and I totally believe in the Salmon Beavers' ability to do that, but they need to do it.
USA, Salmon Beavers.
Salmon Beavers.
Yeah, for sure. This Tide doesn't have an Observer up, and he's like, the Shadow Shaman revealed, and that made Tidehunter go back, but like right then, Tidehunter was really caught out, and Shadow Shaman could have tangoed this direction, but just so you know, this is a really good rotation tree for everyone. You can cut that and cut through, and then he would have got a CC right about here, and if of course, if the Ursa was there to make something happen, that could have been a kill. Depends on what CCs he has. Shadow Shaman does have the right things. Well, yeah, I guess this is pretty good. I agree with getting the Hex and the Shackle. The level 1 nuke is, well, I don't know.
Yeah,
actually,
they have the Ursa, which is the only reason I agree with that. I would never agree with this build, but they have the Ursas there, which makes it legit. But without that Ursa, I definitely feel Ether Shock is far superior.
And now Mirana is kind of just roaming and hasn't made anything happen. Obviously, we haven't heard the first blood yet. That means Mirana isn't doing her job. Or at least it's just not getting the luck. But it comes back to, like we said, like the lack of a setup. There is the Alchemist setups top, but there is the Spike Carapace coming out from the Nyx Assassin, so there's no ability to actually help that. And now
the Nyx Assassin's doing well, but this Alchemist is ahead of everybody.
Blood bottom.
So
there's the gush on the Shadow Shaman. He's way too far out. He was the only one. The arrow wasn't even on the mark. All it took was a gush and a couple of right clicks. Sorry, Salmon Beavers, but that Shadow Shaman was way too far out, and maybe a little bit of lack of coordination because the Ursa wasn't there, didn't want to fight, but I still don't think that Shadow Shaman should have tried to initiate in that way. Not when he saw the Mirana, because he walked straight past that Mirana when he came around the corner here.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's not looking great for Salmon Beavers for the first 5 minutes of the game. Hopefully they can turn it around, but we shall see. Oh, and an arrow coming out. Wow, on the mark. You couldn't have asked for a better arrow than that. That's amazing. Wow. Tidehunter's got to be so thrilled about that right now.
Yeah, 2 kills in the off lane now, and now he's almost level 6, 5.5 minutes in.
Yeah, this isn't looking good, just because if Tidehunter gets ahead, Tidehunter is going to secure this, like, win for the team. They won't be able to fight within this, like, Acid Spray Tide ult. Like, it's not possible.
Yeah. And one thing this Mirana do is could stack Ancients a little bit for that Tidehunter that even help him snowball more. But now in bottom, the supports from the Radiant, the Lich, and the Shadow Shaman are smoked up. But there's not even a ward, so it doesn't even matter. That didn't even really help them, but they're going to get a kill here. There's the Shackle. Here comes the burst from the Overpower. He's using it now. Finally, there's the right clicks. He should have used it a little bit earlier, but they're definitely going to get this kill with Tidehunter. A much-needed kill.
They could have been doing that at level 1, by the way, everybody. Like, level 1. They're level 5 now. Tidehunter has multiple levels in Kraken Shell. Does he have multiple levels? I said that. No, he does not. He still has the 1, but they could have been doing this so much earlier when Tidehunter only had around 600 health. He wouldn't have been able to break free. It would have been so safe for him to do, but here we are.
Yeah, that's funny that Mirana was near the bottom rune, and she jumped into the trees, and there was 3 Radiant Heroes now, and they still think that she's in there, because having a TP is not for roaming Mirana, she might not have one, and she did have one, which is so smart, because she would be dead right now if it wasn't for that TP. TPs are a pretty good item, guys.
Who knew? Yeah, if nothing else, this Mirana setting up that arrow and then getting 3 people to spend a bunch of time mid. I know she's only level 3, but man, is she pulling her weight right now for support Mirana. Yeah. Like, she'll eventually get her 6. It's not as big of a deal as a lot of people might think, but like, she just has to land those arrows, and then she even got just massive rotations for nothing.
Yeah, it's not like Dire's really looking to fight early with Moonlight Shadow and initiate. I mean, they're just looking to farm, so Moonlight Shadow.
Yeah, like I said, like, if it's on even footing, Dire's going to win. Yep. So it's great use of time for the Dire.
Now Mirana tossing an arrow, will be another milker, misses the DP, but there's the concussive shot slow, plus the arcane bolt follow-up, and the static link, and the right clicks from the Razor. But she's fast. Is she going to be able to escape? If she actually turns around, is there going to be a right click on her? No, baiting in the Razor. Oh. Razor's getting right clicked a couple times. Is there going to be a follow-up nuke? There isn't, because it's on, well, I don't even know if it was on cooldown, but still scared. He is a squishy Lich, and damn, that was close.
Lich had some amazing body blocking going on right at the end there. He definitely saved that Razor's life. Well, or Razor, sorry. Wow, not Razor. Death Prophet, yeah.
Oh, the arrows just barely off the mark. And Mirana not able to get at these arrows, but Nyx is on the hunt. Nyx is diving the tower and the leap away from the Mirana, and now Nyx's vendetta is over with, and his Spike Carapace isn't going to save him from this tower damage, but he gets really close. 24, about 20 HP to his name. And Alchemist has by far the most blast hits with max Greevil's Greed. He's so greedy and not getting punished. No rotations coming out from the Radiant, and as far as the top lane goes here.
I would never say that. I would never tell a soul that Max Greevil's Greed is a good build, but they're leaving him alone. There's no downside for him going Greevil's Greed right now. Yep. He is having a great time.
There's a man fight coming out from this Ursa here. Now there's actually a Skywrath mage here, but the Tidehunter goes down first. Before, are you kidding me? Even after Ravage was expended for that, and now it's 2 kills going the way of the Lich of all people for the Radiant team.
All right, so this is the turning point for the Radiant team. If they're gonna win, this has to be the thing that turns the beat around.
Yeah, but to kind of connect with this, with what you were saying before, like they have the I'm gonna say the Salmon Beavers have such good attack potential, like we're seeing here. But they need to be focusing it towards the Alchemist. They like we were seeing here. That was a level 1 stun coming out from this Alchemist, and Max Greevil's Greed for the longest time, and it's just such a gankable target. He has the HP regen, but when you burst him down with the quite frankly very powerful burst coming out from the Radiant, yeah, that's one of those things you gotta think of when you know it's a farming Alchemist and you haven't seen him all game, and it's kind of hard to think, like, remember, you know, you're like, oh man, we're dealing with our own problems, we're fighting our own people, but despite that, you have to remember that Alchemist could have Max Greevil's Greed just getting unpunished, and you have to remember he was a top tier carry at one point, and his ability to carry wasn't nerfed that bad. Like, it was just his early game ability to get HP from his ultimate.
Yeah.
That's it.
His ultimate, instead of giving max... Yeah, instead of giving max HP, like an extra 300 HP, it now gives health regen, which isn't actually like an awful trade-off. It is in like a burst damage situation, but in long sustained team fights, it's not that bad, meaning if you already have some sort of survivability thing that you've already gone through, or like levels even, then not as big of a deal as you may think it is. And it's looking like it might turn out that way for him.
Yeah. Another thing is, well, we're of course paused here, so we're just talking about stuff. Another thing is, Ursa has Vlad's. Had that Morbid Mask a little bit ago, and it's 9 minutes in and no Rosh is killed.
Yeah, you can do Rosh at level 5 now is where most people do it, and you can do it around 5 to 6 minutes in, and this is not even like a farming, he's been kind of solo most of the game. He's been level 5 for a while, and you do it at level 5, you'll go up to level 8, and hasn't done it yet. The kind of reverse side of that, I guess I can say, is they'll notice if he goes missing. Hey guys, Ursa is no longer in the lane.
That's true.
Something could be happening. So it's kind of noticeable, but I mean, they haven't tried, so who's to say? And Dire doesn't even have any wards up. They don't even seem to be concerned about it. Like, he's had perfect timing here for, like, wards went down to around 7 minutes, so like 2.5, 3.5 minutes, depending on when they put them up, if they put them up late or early. So who knows, man? Like, I definitely think that's the next thing they should take.
Yeah, for sure. And unfortunately, this Nyx might not come back. We'll see. But yeah, like here's one of the moves that I would say is one of the things to consider is, okay, so you've got a Shadow Shaman. You're on the Radiant side.
Tyler.
And what's Mike want? One of Rankshis' roommates is calling to him. But what I was getting at is, so listen.
Sorry, next 1 second.
That's fine. Talking to you guys, so here's what to finish my thought is Shadow Shaman and Lich. You've got two supports that really make use of levels, especially that Shadow Shaman, right? So here's the thing: is if you show yourself in lane as an Ursa, and they know, and the enemy knows more specifically that you're in lane, then they're gonna notice when you go out of lane. Like, because they're like, oh, he's been there the whole time. Now he's gone. He could be rushing. So that's what Rankshis was saying. But if you let your supports have the lane for a little bit, they can get a little bit of gold, a little bit of farm, mainly the XP. And then you jungle for a little bit. Now suddenly you're disappeared, and you definitely have the ability to jungle. So you're jungling for a little bit. They probably, the other team's like, oh yeah, he's either roshing or jungling. They check rosh, you're not there. So then you have that time to say, you're kind of, it's mind games. You're telling them that they don't know where you are. You can still get pretty good gold because you have the levels. You're able to get that lifesteal, and you're able to jungle really well. Now your supports are getting the maximizing farm because the supports can't jungle as well as you can. So you're maximizing farm and allowing yourself to sneak rosh even better. I was talking about letting have gold farm.
Yeah, no, I'm back. That was going to be the next thing I talk about, specifically since they have a Shadow Shaman.
But Ursa getting killed almost here. He doesn't have that much HP. He's so close, but the supports are here to reinforce. But it's 3v3. Tidehunter doesn't have his Ravage, but he's here on the front lines. But there's too much CC, and now Ursa's waiting in the wake. He's actually the front line now with that low HP. He was buying his phase boots. Rich kid using his gold.
He definitely needs to rotate to the jungle like right this second.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's just, you're maximizing farm and gold and allowing for Rosh. It's just like such a good move for them right now. And that's why they're, the sports doesn't have his wards up, not pushing towers early. Lich not able to punish dives because he doesn't have Chain Frost. It's one of those things that you definitely got to consider.
Salmon Beavers, I'm still rooting for you because of your amazing name, but you really need to stop this alchemist from farming, and you really need to get that Rosh.
He's going ham, guys. He's got 1,800 gold on top of a Maelstrom. I bet you the gold chart is just actually a lot in Dyer's favor. Yeah, 1,500, actually almost, 2,000. And in this
action happening top with the Vendetta on the alchemist and a easy follow-up nuke and stun.
Rip. Yeah, thanks for catching
Rip.
that. Rip in peace.
No, but I mean, I'm really glad to see them start to pay attention to him, because if anything, that's where they should be spending most of their time. And in fact, it would free up a lot of like stress from Ursa. Like Ursa had people down there for a while, and if they start focusing on alchemists, people will be like, oh no, guys, they're alchemists. And Ursa can be like, hey, I have time to Rosh, I have time to farm a little bit more, I can get my blink dagger in a little bit. I do not know what he is currently doing, but okay, that was a weird little move he did, but all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to see them finally doing something I like super agree that they should be doing.
Yeah, and back up top, there's action there as well. Alchemist actually hits himself with the unstable concoction.
Get a kill, Ursa.
DP is trying to, but yeah, now Rasha.
Yes.
Ursa gets the kill on
Ursa
Razor
got
mid.
him.
Shadow Shaman went down to the Razor just before that, but Ursa able to get that kill, and that's smart. Muranos and Skyras split pushing bottom. So Radiant not able to get much. They kind of traded 1v1 from mid, but yeah, the tower push is coming out from the Dire. And yeah, I guess the top tower is the exorcism from the DP did some damage, so did pretty good. Oh wow, Vendetta actually on the Skyrath in the bottom, near the bottom jungle. And
like we've kind of been harping on how this like Ursa lane could be doing better, but he is strong. He can take people down. He definitely needs his blink dagger, but he is strong. He's definitely the place he needs to be for how early in the game it is.
Razor. If there's a plasma field on this, does he have the run speed? This is, oh my god, he's gonna die. Yeah, let's see, Spike Carapaces, the next one. Is he gonna TP out? He has 10 seconds on the TP, he's dead.
10 seconds, he's a goner.
If he had walked towards the tower and didn't just Spike Carapace, he might have actually there.
I agree with you there.
Yeah. So they're grouping back up top, and DP's gonna have her Exorcism up, and she's just gonna need a little bit more mana. She has a Void Stone, she's gonna get some mana there. And Ursa is actually in the jungle now, but still hasn't Rosh, so he might Rosh soon. Hopefully he does, because just like we said before, that's just one of those elements. It's just the things that can make use of that hero. Gotta use the strengths. And a Ravage coming out just to protect himself in the top lane, but then there's an Alchemist. He's here. He's feeling strong. He has his ult pop and he has that Maelstrom, but now he's locked down. The Chain Frost is bouncing. It's killing all the creeps and now bouncing back on the Alchemist, but the regen is doing too good. The Chemical Rage doing well just before he dies, and it's a 2 for 2, despite the fact that Radiant had a really good Chain Frost and everything, and an early Ravage used. And Skywrath goes down to the Nyx here, popping him with the mana burn plus the Vendetta damage. Nyx has actually made such an impact in the last like 3 minutes. Every Vendetta has actually had an impact now. And Ursa, it has an Invis rune with really low health.
He picked up the Invis rune at the same time he got Static Link, so Razor just followed the Static Link for a while.
Oh, weird. I can't even draw on the map anymore now that I'm looking. It's like the game is paused. I can draw on the mini-map, but I can't draw on the ground. Oh, wait. Oh, no, it's the water thing. Okay. I hate, like, you can't draw on the water. It's really odd. Oh, okay.
I mean, you can. It's just underneath water, and how are you going to see that?
Yeah, I'm glad we have a physicist on the stream here.
You're welcome, everybody.
Telling us the invisible properties.
Do you even know what water is?
Yeah. Foreign substance. Static Link going on this Lich, and he's getting a lot of Static Link charges from this. That's a rank 4. Now his right clicks are gonna be so strong. Oh, it almost took him down with one hit. And if there's fighting happening, this is gonna be really bad for the Radiant team, unless they completely swarm him with no reinforcements from the Dire Tidehunters there just to witness his death. He's just a messenger, but now don't kill the messenger. The Nyx is actually going on him. Is there going to be a Vendetta? He has no stun follow-up. He doesn't have the mana for it. Mana boots in 5 seconds. Is there going to be anything else? Mirana's actually chasing another target. They're going on DP, but now Radiant Nyx has enough mana for an Impale now, but now Moonlight Shadow is coming out from the Dire. Are they going to try and re-engage with this? Ravage, of course, isn't up, but Dire's HP is way too low. They don't have anything, and now Radiant's going to look to push this tower with Exorcism. And the Master.
Yeah, Exorcism just got up. They definitely shouldn't use it for this tower. I think they should take Rosh with it, personally. Like, that tower is gone, Razor can't get back super quickly. They should definitely take Rosh with Exorcism to protect him.
My only one problem with that, but I'm going to interrupt, is because they're getting on this Tidehunter now, and Ravage still isn't up. 10 seconds, so close, but the nukes are really good on the Radiant side, as we've been talking about. They're really strong. The only problem with Exorcism for Rosh is, well, I would say that normally it'd be bad because there's a ward right here, and that would see these spirits flying out. You can't control them. They just kind of fly out and give away your position. But the Dire ward did die, so now they don't know, but the Mirana arrow did scout it and actually stuns the Roshan. Now the Exorcism's popped. Is Dire going to fight into the Exorcism? It's only level 1 right now. And there's the Cryptsworn on 2. Mirana is really low. She's going to wait for a Sacred Arrow cooldown to come back up. But that's just a really fast Roshan down to the Radiant team. I'm actually surprised they killed it that fast. That's crazy. I mean, I know they have the Ursa, but like, damn.
Ursa wrecks Rosh, man, and they had multiple heroes there, so it'll go down quick. And so here's what I was talking about. Salmon Beavers, they are pulling ahead ever so slowly, but they are doing it, and this is what they need to do to win.
And they
Alchemist with Max Greevil's.
Now they're going to push the bot tower.
Yeah, Alchemist went Max Greevil's greed, so he's either going to have low Acid Spray or low stun, and he happens to have low stun right now, so they have their, like, timing opportunity, like, all ready to go. They just need to be able to do it, and Ursa picks up his much-needed Blink Dagger, and I think he's looking for it. He's definitely should be.
Yeah, and on top of that, speaking of Blink Daggers, Nyx, Assassin, has his Blink Dagger waiting in his stash to be delivered as well. And we know that this Nyx has done some good work. So this is going to be, they've got the reach now. They got that reach hardcore. A blink in from the Bear and the Nyx, and it's just going to be ponage. It's just instant burst damage coming out from that. And I kind of, going back to the Alchemist, he did go greedy, and I kind of, of course, I really support his build. I don't know about going complete Mjolnir. I guess Mjolnir is really strong, but like just the fact that he went drum and kind of going early game items despite going Greevil's greed, he has to combat the fact that he went so greedy and stayed in that lane and got that early advantage to combat the fact that I always forget their name. It's Salmon Beavers. I just had to look. I have to look at the
Salmon
icon
Beavers.
Every time to remind me what it is.
Look at that icon. You'll immediately remember.
Right there.
I don't particularly agree with his drum. Oh man, they're fighting over that catapult, and neither of them got it. Funny. But if you build a big item and then you build a drum, like, a drum is essentially just an item that moves you a couple levels ahead of the other team. And when you get it late, like, it starts to not matter so much anymore.
But
like,
now they're fighting.
it's good
Alchemist
early.
is actually chopping down the wards. He was through the stun on the bear, the Ursa, but now the Ravage is on to 3 and it keeps him in the tower range, and now that's a Lich that goes down. The static link gets broken, but on the back lines, Ursa goes down, but he's got the Aegis. Is there going to be a counter initiation at all? A blink. He blinks out of the trees, but now he's in the trees. HY is going to tell him to stay in the trees, but he's going to TP out, and that's good. I'm going to go back to that joke, of course, every time. HY, stay in the trees. It's so funny. So funny, it's never going to get old. Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Oh, the plasma field almost killing the Shadow Shaman. And now the arena, is there going to be a Nyx? He doesn't have mana, but he has a haste rune. He's such a fast bug. Blink Dagger. He's getting static link now. He should probably get out of there. There's 3 heroes. The Gush is going to come out from Tidehunter, but now the Lich is back in. He did use his ult in the last fight. I think I missed that. But now the arrow is not going to be on the mark. Shadow Shaman, get out of here. Prison Mike, go back to the prison of the fountain. Yeah, he's TPing out. He's not even going to walk. He's just TPing out. That's funny. And
Do you get the Prison Mike reference?
I do not.
It's from The Office. I'm super happy that I know this. Not that The Office was an amazing show or anything, but like Prison Mike, he was trying to explain why prison would be awful, and one of the like new guys that they got was like, "Oh yeah, I went to a white collar prison." But anyways, yeah, I saw that, and the first time I ever saw it, this is like the 3rd time I've seen Prison Mike play.
Arrow's gonna hit the creeps takes it for the team, and the Alchemist punches that creep in the face to punish it for its hubris. How dare it? The dodge the sacred arrow, or not dodge the sacred arrow. But yeah, so now it's a 5v5. This is the clash. This is it. This could determine the rest of the game. This could set the momentum. And now the blink actually is off the mark from the Earthshock. And now there's the static link. Razor's going in. Is he going too deep though? He's in tower range. The tower's hitting him. There's the stun in tower range. He's going down the shackle plus the frost blast doing tons of damage. And now there's the stun coming out from Alchemist. And they grouped up to take it. That's not a Sunstrike you. Don't gotta spread the damage.
So that, like I said, that acid field doing work, because they're gonna have to fight into that every time, and it actually canceled Ursa's blink dagger, making it so he couldn't blink Earthshock.
Initiation. It's gonna be on Prison Mike. He's gonna show him what prison's actually like. The arrow's actually gonna hit on Prison Mike. He's getting stabbed. It's the reminiscent from being in prison, getting shanked by the Sacred Arrows. Now the stun. Moonlight Shadow coming out. This is a dead Lich for sure, but he gets off the Frost Blast before he does. The creeps take it. The creeps are doing martyr work so far in both these team fights from the Sacred Arrow and the Frost Chain Frost now, but they're still chasing. Moonlight Shadow's about to die. Is there any chase? There's no blink daggers whatsoever to be spoken for, but there's the Ravage trying to catch him. That was quite a gamble, and the gamble did not pay off. There's the Gush on the Witch Doctor, but nothing else. There's the stun from the Spike Carapace. Is there going to be a chase from this? Is there any counter initiation? Prison Mike's like, guys, I'm so low. I do have a blink dagger, but please don't make me do this. Actually, he doesn't have blink dagger. Nyx does, but there's now the static discharge from the Mjolnir's doing work. Is there going to be more static discharges? It could kill 3. It could kill 3. Will it happen? There's 1. Oh, so close. Not RNGesus this day, but wow, that was close. I was ready for the triple kill. I was ready.
So yesterday you and I talked about the importance of like a Yule Scepter on Death Prophet before BKB, or at least an item before BKB, and sure enough, I don't know if you've seen, but like this Yule Scepter has saved this Death Prophet twice now where a BKB would not have. And so just tips for everybody. You know?
I agree. Yeah, and we definitely had that other game where just no mana regen and BKB didn't do anything. And now, like, once again, the mana regen's paying off. Razor's coming on the back lines and instantly dead Death Prophet. They do have a ward here. In fact, both teams do, so that was scouted out. And this Tidehunter, look at him. He's staying in the trees. Is he going to come out? He actually does. They're going on this Lich. But now, the Ursa's coming in. Is he going to bash? Yes, he is. He actually doesn't have bash. I'm just saying he's going to cut into him, and he does, definitely. Plasma Field not doing that much damage. This is last right click. He actually gets through. Is he going to dodge? No, the Eye of the Storm finds him. Now Nyx, he's here. He's got the Impale, but it's off the mark. It doesn't hit. Now the Spike Carapace keeping him in place, but now it's 1v1. This Razor could totally go on him. Is there going to be a static link in just a second? Yes. There's the Plasma Field. Is there going to be enough damage? This is going to be close. He can't really chase. He doesn't have any... Okay, he didn't actually keep right-clicking him, so... I think the Creeps took all of those Eye of the Storm hits and didn't actually hit the Nyx, canceling the Blink Dagger. Creeps.
That plasma field really screwed him over. I don't know how to say that without saying screw over.
Is there going to be a follow-up from the Radiant? There is. The Impale. Razor's going down near the bot rune and pops him with the mana burn. Arrow. So close. It almost looked like it hit because it perished, but it did not.
So I've never tried to do this before, but trying to think about words like while like censoring yourself to certain words is really hard to come up with like G-rated terminology. I'm like, I don't know.
It's probably a good thing to practice it, but yeah, that's so hard. I totally know what you mean. You just sit there, you're like tripping over your own tongue and brain.
I'm like, first off, screw over isn't even that bad of a thing to say, but I'm like, what should I say instead of screw over? Dick over. No, fuck over. No, screw over.
That's funny.
Yeah, so, yeah, just a random thought that occurred to me. And a free tower taken by the Death Prophet didn't even have to use their Exorcism. They might continue to push. In fact, I think they should. A lot of people are middle right now, and Exorcism's great for taking towers. At the very least, they could drop wards on it before they leave. Maybe they're just going to take off since somebody is actually showing up.
Yep. Absolutely. Razor defending towers is really good. Not to
get him, Bear.
Oh, wow.
Get him.
Ursa totally going on. There's the Skywrath mage gets eaten up by the bear. Just ravaged.
By the bear.
Ravaged by the bear. Ravaged Tidehunter. And there's the blink and the earth shock. The right clicks are so strong, but the fade time is way too long. And Mirana counts the seconds as it appears to be ages. And on the back lines, Alchemist, the Moonlight Shadow's hiding him, but they have a Sentry Ward. But now the Sentry Ward's run out. Razor's going in. Eye of the Storm popped. Is he going to do anything? Is there any follow-up? Dyer's not. They're really. He's the only one. And it's him versus 3, him versus 4. The Dyer's like, oh crap, what are you doing? Ravage is on. Here comes the 4-man Ravage. 5-man Ravage. The Lich goes down. Razor's going to live. Eye of the Storm still crackling. And now Ursa's still chasing him. He's hungry. He's trying to get that kill, but is that a good idea? He actually hits the creeps rather than the Razor, so that's not going to be a kill. Exorcism Spirits killing Tidehunter, and now they're going to turn on the Alchemist. So much damage, but the Death Prophet was way too low, and the carries killing each other at the same time. I have almost never seen that. Just like the dual punches hitting each other's faces at the same time. Wow.
So it's unfortunate. Death Prophet ran out of mana, but if she did have mana for Yules there, she would have killed Alchemist and lived in the arrow on the illusion, rip illusion. Yep. But yeah, just another example of how Yules can do something that a BKB cannot.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that they were just so grouped up for that Ravage, and the Lich didn't actually even get off his Chain Frost. He didn't find that opportunity. But now Nyx is actually he's limping in Vendetta. This is a manly. He's Austin freaking Powers, guys. He's going. He sees a target. Is there gonna? Oh, the arrow. Oh, actually almost hit. Oh, that was so close.
He's super lucky that he stopped chasing right there.
Yeah, and he gets the pop. He's limping away. He's just limping. He's so strong, and he actually has an Atos now. Look at that rod of AUI 2000.
Yeah, I have not seen a Nyx go Atos before, so.
But it's good against fast heroes. I love picking an Atos against like a Death Prophet or Razor, specifically in this game. Just like stop they bank on that fast speed, and then you just slow them right down, and the range on it's crazy.
Yeah, sure. This Nyx is definitely doing a great job in this game. 5, 1, and 6 on this Nyx. Yeah, wow, damn, he is pulling his weight, if not the team's weight right now. This Ursa as well is doing great, despite having a mediocre early game.
Yeah, looking at the off lanes, like Nyx had the harder time in his off lane, and he now has way more loot. And then the Tidehunter only have mana boots to his name. He almost has his Blink Dagger, but yeah, he had the way
really
better.
Surprising.
Yeah.
It's super surprising, actually.
He's been trying to get active, and this is like the difference you see between a Tidehunter that like farms a little bit, like in between and finds that farm, but then it then gets greedy, and you're like, oh hey, we don't have Tidehunter here. Oh, we're not able to act as much. But honestly, it's probably the fact that Sam and Beavers have gone so active that he's felt forced to go into these fights. That's my only guess.
I could agree with that. Something you pointed out earlier is that Mirana could have stacked that like ancient camp for him, and I think that's just an important part of playing Tidehunter, is trying to get some of those ancients so you can get the even faster Blink Dagger, even though this Blink Dagger is extraordinarily late.
Is this Nyx gonna? He actually could release with the Vendetta, and when she leaps, he could. Oh, he could wait for the Blink Dagger. I was gonna say just blink in and do it, but is she gonna pop her a couple right clicks and boom, he actually gets it nonetheless. Tidehunter is on the top lane near the secret shop, and now this Nyx is by himself. He's totally centered, is there gonna be a few seconds before he can blink? Is he gonna do it? He does it. Is there gonna be the concoction thrown? No, it stuns himself. The Nyx making it out behind enemy lines. Now there's the Razor, unfortunately. This Nyx is not feeling good. He's gonna have the rod up. Can he use it? He actually used it. Spike Carapace. Is he gonna, there's no more right clicks. He's getting away in the blink dagger.
Wow, this Nyx, man, he is comfortable playing this hero. I think most people can agree to that.
Austin freaking Powers, guys. Ladies and gentlemen.
No.
Austin freaking Powers. And now the Radiant team is safe enough to take this Rosh. The Dire team are sniffing it out. They smell a Rosh kill, but they were only able to smell it. That's all they got. Now Shadow Shaman is actually initiating into 4. He's by himself. He has to cancel. And now there's a Ravage hitting a lot. The Radiant team's not looking good here. That's 2 dead. And now DP is Yules herself. That's not going to save her. Ursa has the Aegis, but he can't man up to this. I don't think he can do it. He's going to get singled out. He should have tried to run away, but now he's going to be by himself to 3 Radiant heroes. Can he blink? He blinks out, but now he's running back just a little bit. A little bit of a misclick. Now the drums are popped. Can they chase? There's the unstable concoction. It's definitely going to be thrown. Not that much of a stun. There's the Nyx Impale, but it's off the mark. It actually doesn't work there. Now there's the concussive shot and the chasing of the Nyx Assassin, who's definitely going to go down if there's going to be another unstable concoction, but there's actually the Invis, and they don't have Dust Form.
They did just drop a sentry, but so that Nyx was doing things middle, like he killed a Mirana and then escaped with a bunch of people chasing him, and that was wonderful. He bought his team time to like take that Rosh, but they needed to take that Rosh and they need to leave, not fight. They don't have their Nyx, and their Nyx is a really big like linchpin of like Ursa killing people here, because they do need somebody to hold these people in place for him.
Now Alchemist is singled out. His Dire team isn't here enough, and now there's 3 Radiant and another TPing in TP, but he's really fast when he's during his Moonlight Shadow. He's just a fast hero in general. Holy shit. But now it's going to be re-engaged. Ursa is going to be respawning soon, but now there's the stun from the Spike Carapace, from the poison spray on the ground. It stuns him, and now Razor is on the march. There's the Eye of the Storms doing damage. Can he get vision for the last right click? Will he get it? He's actually going the weird way. He's not going to find it, and there's the Plasma Field. It does get him, but he's really low. This is definitely a dead Razor. If there's going to be any fall DP, he's going to TP out. Is it going to be enough? There's definitely not. Oh, wow! I can't even believe it. That was crazy. I thought that Crypt Storm was going to do more than enough damage. Now Alchemist slap chop, and he's fits here in the mid tower. T2 going down. Mirana getting hit. Now there's the unstoppable concoction, only doing a little bit of stun because he just pops it and throws it. He doesn't wait at all. He doesn't need it. He's so mad. Chemical Rage is just messing with his mind. And now there's the right click with the Mjolnir discharge, and there's farming these wards, and wow, Dire really pulling it back.
Yeah,
got that Assault Cuirass and 5k gold on top of that. Wow, did he find some farm.
Yeah, I mean, he did max Grievel's Greed, and it's 30 minutes in. Like, he maxed it first. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, 30 minutes suddenly turned into like 40 minutes worth of farm, you know? And like, the Salmon Beavers are definitely behind right now, just because of those last couple team fights, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Wow, Alchemist is by himself. Is he AFK? Are they going to pause for him? I don't even know what he was doing. But this is really unfortunate. But there's the ultimate. He's Alchemist. He's ranged up, and now he's right-clicking. He almost actually killed. Now the Unstable Concoction is almost about to pop, and he can't throw it because of lack of vision. But now Ursa's definitely down. He was stuck in the trees. Was that a blink dagger? I'm not sure exactly why he was in there, or why they even had vision on him. But that's GG being called by the Salmon Beavers. A celebratory Ravage being used to secure the DP kill. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Are they actually going to give up? That's the thing. Is this just a rage quit? GG / just saying GG, you know, I called it, guys. Tidehunter, wow, last tower hit gets completely dislodged by the Blink Dagger. Atos doing work. There's no leap, there's no mana. But now the Razor's in here. Now he's afraid of the Razor. The Razor has his Agnum Scepter. He's strong. But is there going to be any lockdown? It's 3v1 here at the top. But there's the GG. It actually gets called and rolls. And the victory going to Team WWW, which, by the way, as far as I've seen, appears to be, I think, the Season 4 champion. I'm just assuming they're the Season 4 champion because their logo is actually right there on the front of the Reddit Dota 2 League subreddit. And I said this last game, guys, sorry I wasn't around. I actually am just joining this subreddit, so I don't have the history of someone who's seen a previous seasons, but I can say I'll be here for now, and I'm glad to be here, so thanks for having me, guys. Any final thoughts on the execution here coming out from the Salmon Beavers?
That Max Grievel's Greed was really greedy, but I mean, 31 minutes went by, so you know, it turns out